Then I got the last parking space, but then I lost my keys, so I guess I live here now. I bit the inside of my mouth again. It's like I don't remember it ever being there. Don't go back to her, she'll only hurt you again. Hurt you again. I'm on the bus going back to her so she can hurt me again. Did she hurt you again? She did. Shocking. Don't go back to her, she'll only hurt you again. Hurt you again. I'm on the bus going back to her so she can hurt me again. Did she hurt you again? No, she did. I just don't want to. Thank you for the invite to your social soiree. I read through the specifics and have nothing to say. For the entrees sound delicious and desserts they look just fine. I'm anxious and introverted but would feel rude to decline. I'll make non-committal noises regarding your social soiree. It's not the most convenient time nor the most convenient day, and if you mention it once more to me I'll run away down the street. I don't want to go to your bloody thing but was trying to be discreet.
It's,
you know, the thing is, the next day we've got to go to our parents.
It's trickier.
I just got to get up so early.
You know,
so I don't really want to.
It's a tricky age, isn't it?
I don't really want to go
and humans
and then have to leave early because we would, so it would just be easy to not go. You know?
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah.
I can't make any promises.
Well, look, next time.
I would.
We'll go next time. It's not a big deal.
I sincerely hope
you're making it a big deal, and that is exactly what I wanted to avoid. That's why I wrote a song instead of actually replying to any of your emails. It's just easier. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No.
Well, I mean,
I can't.
I'm not sorry.
To. No.
Where do all the bad colours go when they break?
I'm in film!
You have to get a new pen. This one's all stupid.
Hey Liam, I made us a Bebo page. Ah, Bebo shut down.
That's funny. That's current, isn't it?
Ah!
Anyone in? Never occurred to me how much like one of your feet properly looks like a bell end.
Hey Liam, I made us a Bebo.
Idiot!
There's no way to talk about yourself. Fucking idiot.
Okay then. Okay, yes, I know you're right. Ow, my ass.
Look at this. I'm going to draw a frowny face because I'm really disappointed at you. Only we're going to know it's there.
Praise, please.
Right, be French.
French, not James Acaster.
Brick. Corduroy. Colombian hash.
Lick the stump!
Filibuster. Moose furs. No! 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 No!
Come with me,
Come.
and you'll be
Ben.
in a world of photosensitive seizures.
Lavender oil. Marjorie. Marge Simpson. Abe Simpson. Abe Lincoln. Top hats. Fedoras. Incels. Hand jobs. Hand lotion. Lotion. Oils. Back to lavender oil. There you go. Did it in one. And I have nothing else to give. Right, go stand somewhere.
3, 2, 1.
Wait, hang on. I'm having not just second thoughts, but third, fourth, and fifth thoughts. I don't know if I should do it right.
No, this is not.
Fucking hell.
3.
No, hang on, wait.
didn't tell him to do that. Why didn't you tell him?
Milk, milk, milk.
That's the job, mate. You ready? Mm-hmm. Inhale a wee bit. There we go.
Hey, how's it going? This is Liam from the Conversation Up podcast. You've probably worked out that this stream isn't live, so good for you. This is an archive stream. We wanted to make the most of becoming Twitch affiliates, and just sort of share what we've been doing for the last 4 years. So we just are streaming old episodes, recent episodes, sketches, behind the scenes stuff, just stuff that we've made, you know. So if you enjoy this archive stream, you might want to give us a follow, because we're doing live podcast recordings once a month, and then we have episodes going out twice a month. So hit the buttons, and yeah, I'll see you whenever we are actually live. Toodles. Olive, vegetable, rapeseed, almond, coconut, lavender, palm, crude, baby, massage, essential, CBD.
I'm in film!
You have to get a new Ben. This one's all stupid.
Liam, I made us a Bebo page. Ah, Bebo shut down.
That's funny. That's current, isn't it?
Ah!
Anyone in? Never occurred to me how much, like, one of your feet properly looks like a bell end.
Liam, I made us a Bebo.
Idiot.
There's no way to talk about yourself.
Sure.
Fucking idiot.
Okay then. Okay, yes, I know you're angry. Ow, my ass.
Look at this. I'm going to draw a frowny face because I'm really disappointed at you. Only we're going to know it's there.
Praise, please.
Right, do French.
French, not James Acaster.
Brick, corduroy, Colombian hash,
Lick the stump!
filibuster, moose furs. No! 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 No!
Come with me,
Come.
and you'll be
Ben.
in a world of photosensitive seizures.
Lavender oil, Marjorie, Marge Simpson, Abe Simpson, Abe Lincoln, top hats, fedoras, incels, hand jobs, hand lotion, lotion, oils, back to lavender oil. There you go, did it in one. And I have nothing else to give.
Right, go stand somewhere.
3, 2, 1.
Wait, hang on. I'm having not just second thoughts, but third, fourth, and fifth thoughts. I don't know if I should do this right.
No, it's not.
Fucking hell.
3.
No, hang on, wait.
I didn't tell him to do that. Why didn't you tell him?
Okay. You ready?
Mhm.
Maybe inhale a wee bit. Okay.
This might look like any other under 12.
It's spooky.
Spooky!
You're a robot.
A robot. Ben, I can't move.
I can't speak. I've got teeth in my mouth.
Well, I can speak, but I don't think anyone can hear me. And I can't see anything.
Oh, that was gross.
Can you check that we're live?
Probably easier than you because I'm not dressed up as a fucking robot.
I've just... Oh no. Oh no. My head's broken. So, I'm facing forwards when I do this. Hang on. Ignore my human hands. There it is. Nailed it.
Is it on? Are we on? Oh, we are
I think
on.
we are
Yes,
on.
Good.
I can very blurredly see that there's comments, but I can't read them because this is, like, not especially transparent. This...
All of these things are on, like... Hang on.
Oh.
That's you talking.
Who's me?
Probably. Let's see. Oh, these are all from stream, so I can't see who's saying it.
Oh.
Almighty Colossus and Captain Buddy. And Who Blue Mama of Goblins. Hello. I'm not used to Twitch.
Liam's got his own problems.
Are you trying to drink fucking Pepsi?
Yes? Refreshing.
How well's that going for you?
As long as I don't need another drink in like the next 40 minutes, I think it's fine. Did we?
Almighty Colossus is right. You need a straw.
I need a
You
straw,
need like an impipe.
and also my costume doesn't
Yeah,
cover
you
my
need an
hands.
intake valve.
But I do have sound effects. Oh, I did have. Hang on. The battery on my sound effects is gone. Oh, and so is the Velcro.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the helmet
You're
off.
still a robot.
I am still a robot.
Oh, God. Wouldn't it be funny if there was another costume?
Oh shit! It's you.
It's this guy. Hang on.
It's you. There you are.
I actually can't breathe. Hang on.
I was gonna make a joke about an emergency induction port, but you know.
Ben, no one's here for your
Very
jokes.
niche
This isn't a comedy podcast.
What are we here for then?
Spooktacular, a Halloween spooktacular that's only slightly unseasonably early. Have you got contact in?
It's not unseen. Yeah, baby.
Oh, look at that. They make your eyes
That's
look
what.
the same. Right? They're the
My
same.
eyes are blue, you prick.
And what are they now?
Black and red.
Yeah.
You can see because of the black and redness.
As far as I can, that's true. Yeah, no, I can see that now that you've pointed it out. But they do just kind of look brown. And when I first saw you, I was like, oh, Ben's got brown eyes. Like I've not been
No,
paying
I
attention
don't.
for the last
Never
10
have.
years. Have you not?
Well, I've got. Yeah. I've got a brown bit in one of my eyes.
You got a brown bit in one of your eyes.
not
Is
like-
that's what gives you pink eye, isn't it?
Is it? I've never had pink eye. What is pink eye?
Pink
Apparently
eye's when you
shit
get-
in your eye
I think yeah, pink eyes you get like a really itchy eye because you got like a bit of poo in it or something.
How do people get poo in their eyes?
Miscalculating.
I was never that bad at maths.
It's more of like Ben's a bit quiet compared to Liam. Okay, we can do something about that. Ben, is your mic actually on?
I could shout.
Please don't
I
shout.
could shout.
It's okay.
It's here. Look. Hello.
Yeah, that doesn't help me. There you go. Ben, give us the old one
I'll put
too.
it back on. 1, 2.
Okay. I want to suck.
1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Welcome to...
7, 12.
Okay, you can stop now. Thank you. Well, okay, I'm going to murder you somehow because you're a vampire.
Look out, we must stay 2 meters apart.
I'll get a steak that's 3 meters long.
Oh, shit.
Who Blue, you're absolutely right. I'm more of a cyborg now. I had human hands before. To quote a comedian much funnier than me, ignore my human hands. This is the Conversation Hat podcast live stream. It's like the Conversation Hat, except the things we say we're held accountable for because it's live, rather than just getting our editor to get rid of them.
Yeah, she does a damn good job. Damn good, bloody good, damn good job.
Yes, it's amazing
Hi,
we
Laura.
haven't been cancelled. Ben, Captain Buddy 7 raises a good point in the chat. Are you a devil or a vampire?
That I don't like to put myself into boxes.
Sure, but other people would like to put you
know,
in boxes,
why-
so...
I mean, I wanted the devil horns with the contacts,
Okay.
and then these were also cheap near the checkout, so I got some little teeth as well.
I am...
Which apparently you're meant to put in hot water and use like a rugby mouth guard. Did you ever have one of those when you were little?
No, I was hard, so I just played rugby in like the regular school uniform. Hard/poor. Yeah. I went through a walk through Sainsbury's yesterday, just because like I'm running out of hobbies. There is so much Halloween stuff, so much more like costume stuff than I think has ever been before, and I wonder if like at the start of the year, when obviously the there was some sort of illness or something going around, they maybe thought, oh well, it'll be done by October and people will be like woot woot party Halloween time, so that's why they threw a whole bunch of money at Halloween costumes, and turns out our country's really bad at dealing with colds, so here we are.
Yeah.
We're going to have a load of wasted pumpkins, and apparently that's our
weird,
fault.
'cause I thought that it was sort of the other way around when
Yeah?
I went into the shops. Yeah, there was like people, because normally you go in any shop. There's all look at the spooky Halloween. Come and get your budget costumes.
Yeah.
Buy from us instead of all the other places. Not so much. Lots of chocolate.
Lots of chocolate.
So I think now it's just sort of a, hey, everything's kind of crappy, right?
Yeah.
Have some caramel.
Almighty
It's what the
Colossus.
people want, Liam.
Almighty Colossus, we always know when Halloween is coming, when the spirits of Halloween shops appear on every street corner. I think that the Halloween people and the Christmas people are in league, and they just swap their stock from one season to the other, and then the rest of the year they don't know what to put in there. I do not need some kind of costume because that one hurts my back. Hang on, I'll put the helmet on again and none of you can hear me talk. There we go. Much better.
I mean, we can see less of your face, so arguably, yeah.
If I had a way to set
He knows
these
I love
lights
him.
to
I
red,
just like- sorry.
pretty sure I've like.
But to show how you.
It's been a good few years since I set this, but I'm pretty sure it says "screw off Ben" in binary.
Oh yeah.
If anyone's good at binary, do let me know. I wonder if that'll. No, that would be funny. I'm going to turn that off and save the planet. Ben, why are we here, Ben? Don't talk about conception.
Well, it's kind of monthly thing we do now
Podcast.
for the podcast. Yeah,
Podcast.
You should know this. We've been doing them for like over a year.
Have we really?
We meet up, or at least we do this, and then we talk about a theme or something like that, and then it gets edited down in 2 weeks for a podcast.
We talk
So
about
this way
a
we
theme.
can chat to people as well.
Yes.
Is that what you meant, or did you mean?
No, that was
what are
basically
we
it.
talking about?
No, well, no, that was the general
Oh,
intro.
cool.
That's
well,
good.
Thank you for tuning into the Conversation Hat live stream. That's it. We'll see you next month.
We basically record until Ben does something helpful and then we log off. That's the whole gist of the show. Ben, what are we talking about specifically today?
Spooky things, Liam. Spooky things.
Like what? Give us an example of something
Like-
spooky that isn't on your list.
Billionaire paedophiles.
That is spooky. It's not like hugely
pretty
upsetting.
fucking
It's
scary,
just
isn't it?
spooky. It is scary. Yeah. Well, what
I'm
about the other
side-
paedophiles, huh? What about the poor paedophiles? I don't think you get poor paedophiles. I think they just go to prison. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts as a hot
they pay
take.
tax.
Yeah. Something that I didn't
That
really know.
means the billionaire paedophiles aren't even paying for the upkeep of the regular paedophiles.
Trickle down paedophile economics.
They just don't. They don't care about each other.
Yeah.
Paedophiles, very selfish people. It's the worst thing about them.
I think like we do need to start doing the trigger warnings, to be honest. But then that would require some level of preparation, like we know what abhorrent stuff we're going to say. Oh well. We do say
Sorry.
comedy
I mean,
podcasts are
if-
terrible people. I feel like that covers most of the bases, doesn't it?
Yeah. But not for paedophiles.
No.
Tax paying or otherwise.
Or Tory voters.
None of that.
None of that.
None of that, thank
None
you.
of that. Do we want to jump into the stream immediately or in a second? Sorry, not
Every
the stream, the
trigger,
actual
we
recording.
shouldn't. And if we just name every trigger ever conceived, we'll be fine. Does that mean I need to say them all now, or we? Do you need a trigger warning for a trigger warning?
Ooh.
Yeah,
yeah, probably should.
Just by the name of the thing.
Probably should. Go on, Ben. Give us what you think trigger warnings. Give us trigger warnings for what you think is going to come up in this episode.
Ooh, careful.
Yeah, yeah.
Things. You know. Some people get upset by stuff. Some people don't. We don't want to upset anyone.
No.
So, sorry if that happens.
Yeah, I think you've covered all the bases there.
I think we'll do spoiler alerts. I'm better at spoiler alerts because I know what I'm about to say.
Shall we just do a spoiler alert for each individual thing as we get to it? This is all stuff that we could have prepared in advance, but we didn't.
I mean, I did prepare. Did you prepare?
I mean, I've got notes. I know the things we're going to talk about, sort of.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you want
Good
to?
job.
Should we hit record? Do you have any like? Oh no. Okay, here we go. Right, there is a plan. So the podcast episode we're recording is about you can screw off, Ben. You know exactly how well prepared we are.
What?
The episode we're recording today is about spooky things. So we've got recommendations for books, films,
Halloween.
games, TV, and spooky food. Spooky food sounds really fun. So what we're going to do is give our recommendations. Because we're publishing next Sunday, so a little in advance of actual Halloween, gives you guys an opportunity to actually enjoy these things, get yourself in a real spooky mood.
And let's be honest, stuff that comes out that's for Halloween, that comes out after Halloween,
Yeah,
it's done.
yeah, exactly. It's like trying to have a
It's time to
Christmas
start
carols
complaining
like
about Christmas.
on Boxing Day. It's a bit like spirits gone. Let's move on. Let's start preparing for New Year's.
We're all hungover. Time for the next thing.
Yeah, I'm done with my family. Can we get a new one? Is there anything we wanted to talk about? Because normally we have like an hour-long political rant before we actually get into, the content. I think the only thing that's
true.
come up that like I'm upset about is the BBC America's The Watch series.
Yeah,
Which-
you sent me the trailer just before we went live on here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
For those of you who don't know, The Watch is a TV series based remarkably loosely
Yeah.
from what it looks like on the City Watch from Terry Pratchett's Discworld.
Yeah.
If you don't know them, you should. They're great books. They're set sort of, how's it described? In a second-hand parallel dimension.
Nailed it.
So like there's bits where like newspapers are invented and movies and stuff, but it's also on a very thin plane of reality, so there's magic and the entire world is on the back of a giant turtle.
Yes.
Which sounds fun and exciting and
it is.
interesting.
It's best.
And then they tried to make a TV series out of the City Watch, which are like the policemen, and I don't know how they ended up where they are.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't look as gritty, not even gritty, sort of as...
Good.
It looks weird.
It does look really weird.
Discworld is somewhere between Lord of the Rings and in the Industrial Revolution.
Yes,
That's how my brain sort of thinks of it. There's going to be trains, but there's also little dragons and dwarves.
There's a
and
bit
stuff.
more magic than there is in Lord of the Rings, but magic is sort of an inconvenience more than anything else. I don't know. It's hard to put a pin on, but it is like, it's a humorously fantastical world, isn't it? Everything's like a little bit silly, and the characters are all just like a little bit more sarcastic than perhaps they should be. It is kind of hard to put a finger on, but it is like, I would say it's low fantasy rather than high fantasy for the people to whom that matters, but certainly kind of funny as well. Comedy low fantasy, there you go, but with magic.
So now we've described that to you.
So very well, so completely and accurately.
Yeah, the trailer for this, for some reason they seem to have made it into a steampunk, almost post-apocalyptic looking
Yeah, it did have
thing.
that vibe. I was listening to a podcast I quite like called Wizard and the Bruiser on the Last Podcast Network, Spotify exclusive. I don't know why I'm doing their plugging for them. They had an episode on Terry Pratchett quite recently, I think possibly because they knew the watch was going to come out, and they described it as steampunk as well, and like, it's not, because steampunk is like very explicitly Victorian retro futurism, so everything has a very Victorian vibe. I've never gotten Victorian from Discworld. Maybe late Middle Ages, in fact, or perhaps sort of Romantic era, but like that's it. Certainly not steampunk, because yeah, there's alchemy and there's magic and there's stuff, but it's way more fantastical than steampunk really is. Steampunk's just supposed to be like super industrial and steam powered.
Look at all these cogs that we have.
I mean, like, I'd expect to see a few cogs around Discworld, maybe, and maybe an airship or two, but like not in a steampunk way. But I think that's just like, I don't know if this is me actually just showing my ignorance. I don't know what the American kind of relationship with fantasy franchises is, because obviously Lord of the Rings, Tolkien, British, Terry Pratchett, Discworld, British. What are some of the other big ones? Where's George R.R. Martin from?
He's American, isn't he?
He is American.
And he has a like for heavy breasts with brown nipples.
I mean, we all have a type. But then the kind of Game of Thrones aesthetic is like a very straight down the middle low fantasy, isn't it? You've got castles, you've got witches, you've got dragons, but like you see a lot of sex work and disease. So like it's low fantasy, right?
Yeah, I guess like because the witches and the dragons are sort of relatively rare. Like magic, there is still they have magics.
Yeah. Almighty Colossus is absolutely right. Vimes is one of the best Discworld characters. He has one of the most intriguing arcs to me, and I love the fact that he keeps getting promoted despite really clearly not wanting to be. I find that really fun. And yeah, you're right. That is not what this, at least according to the trailer, that is not portrayed very well in this. And yes, the closest they get to steampunk is in Raising Steam. Sort of what the book's about. Exactly. And it's one of the later books. Neither have I. I only know like the very brief outline. But like you can't say
Raising
something.
Steam is the last one.
It's I mean, Shepherd's Crown is the last one, but the Shepherd's Crown is like
Shepherd's
the last.
Crown is the last one. Some people don't count that as
because it's kind of the children's or the teen series, sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rising Steam is at least
But
one of them.
that was his last book. But Rising Steam was the last Discworld proper one.
Captain Buddy 7 says BBC made it for BBC America because, of course, BBC are the only people that I think have the license to televise Pratchett's Discworld. So maybe they made it for an American audience. That could have been an issue. Possibly, if they don't have, like... Again, could be really ignorant here. I get the impression that Americans might not have the nuanced understanding of fantasy franchises that we have. And that is about the only thing we have over the Americans at this point. Ben, why don't you tell us like your specific issues with the trailer? Because we've basically just said Discworld good, trailer bad at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen the trailer less than an hour ago. Hadn't even got my horns on when I watched that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I have a problem with the trailer. It looks, it looks fun.
Yes.
If you had never seen Terry Pratchett, or if you didn't know it was based on anything else, it does look kind of fun.
True.
What's this? Intrigue. Oh, it looks a bit jokey, it looks a bit clever. Oh, action and shit.
Yeah.
So it looks good in that way, but it doesn't really feel particularly Pratchett or Discworld to me from what I've seen there.
Yes.
What I've heard about it. It feels more like... So there's a few things that... a few TV series and a few books and stuff that I think it works primarily with TV series. I've then watched movie adaptations of the TV series. And you really need to think, okay, this isn't going to be the TV series just mushed into an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because that's not possible.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to change things. So it's a reimagining. So it's almost like fan fiction.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like this is based on the characters, based on this. Then that, it feels a bit more acceptable.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of these words I'm saying are making...
No, totally.
I'm trying to get across makes sense.
You're saying that it's more like an homage to and based upon rather than attempting to be canon, I guess.
Yeah, but which is fine that people do this, but it almost makes me want to ask, what's the point? Like Pratchett was the whole Discworld series builds there's 41 books with stories based in the Discworld, so the world was built up over like 20 years or something. Huge amount of backstory, huge amount of lore, such a rich and developed world. Does it need to be reimagined? Does it need to be tweaked as much as they have tweaked it? Like when Good Omens, for those of you who have not seen Good Omens, go watch it. Oh shit,
good.
I could have just put some sunglasses on and said I was Crowley.
Oh well.
Oh well, too late.
Do that next year.
I'll do it for the Halloween party later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that show, even though there were deviations from the original book, it didn't feel like there were. Like, I've read Good Omens once, maybe twice, and when I watched the BBC America Good Omens, I couldn't exactly tell you what bits definitely were and what bits definitely weren't in the books.
Yeah.
Because it all flowed, and it felt right. It felt exactly how it was with the source material. The Watch may do that, but it doesn't sound like it. But from what I've heard, they've already decided to ignore it before it's even out and to go and do it better.
Yeah, apparently. There's things like they mess with the character arcs in the stories a little bit. So Sybil, for example, is she's either a fellow guard, another member of the guards, or she's like someone that's a guard guarding Vimes or something. I wasn't really clear on that, but she's not like a duchess. You know, she's not
meant to be.
Yeah, she's like this rough and tumble kind of action girl, which is like, fine, let's have some action girls, but you do already have Angua and like in the Watch, so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And the humor of Sybil for me is that she is kind of badass, but because she's so
well-to-do.
Exactly, I was going to say dainty, and that's the wrong word.
No, but she was raised as a.
She was proper.
Yeah.
She was proper. Because she's so proper, that's the humor of her being badass. There's other things like the stories for Cheery and Carrot have swapped. So Cheery, first of all, doesn't have a beard, which is
Cheery, who's a lady dwarf.
Lady dwarf.
But she, like, basically, everyone assumes that she's a dude.
Because that's how all dwarves present.
They all look the same.
Yeah. Dwarves are
They're
male
all short,
presenting.
covered in armor.
Yep.
So you can't see any nothing that would give any hint to gender, and they all have big old beards.
Well, I don't know.
I think it's said that gender isn't really a thing for dwarves; it's only for procreation. Or you don't normally find out until the wedding day.
I don't know if it's not even that they don't hint towards gender. I think it's all that they're quite masculine because they've got like obviously stocky builds and they've got the beards and they're covered in armor, so it feels like kind of hyper masculine. And as Captain Buddy Seven says in the chat, like the fact that dwarves have beards is like one of the coolest things about Discworld. Like they don't care about gender until literally they get married and then they get into the bedroom like, right, what have you got? I've got one of these. Oh, I've got one of them too. Oh, okay. And it just doesn't matter. No one cares. Or like, oh, I've got one of them. Oh, I haven't. Oh, what if we rub them together? Oh no, a small dwarf came out. Yeah, let's smash them together and see if another dwarf falls out. Like, gender literally doesn't matter, which is like a very Terry Pratchett thing to be like incredibly forward thinking in like a kind of very hilariously British sort of way. And he's not even trying to be progressive. He's just trying to be, hey, what if this? And it's good, apparently. And what annoys me about that particular swap is that it just seems a bit obvious. Like, so Carrot believes himself to be a dwarf.
Yeah, you said something weird's going on.
Yeah, so they swapped their storylines, but I don't know what that means. But like,
so Carrot was a human that was adopted by dwarves.
Yep.
So he was raised as a dwarf.
Yep.
Even though he's like 6'5".
But his parents and he and other dwarves basically believe him to be a dwarf. Like,
yeah, because it's how you're raised and how you.
And it comes up quite a lot. It's a big point in Thud, I think. I just finished Thud, where no, he's a dwarf. Like, you look like a human. Fine, you look like a human. I am a human. Oh, I'm a dwarf.
I'm a dwarf.
It's like the biology doesn't matter. He is, for all intents and purposes, a dwarf. So the key character points for me are that Carrot is raised by dwarves, is genetically not a dwarf, but for all intents and purposes is, and he is, spoiler, the king of Ankh-Morpork, but Ankh-Morpork doesn't have kings, and it never comes up again. He just is. It's worth knowing, but it doesn't change anything. So, like, I don't know if that's what they've given to Cheery. So maybe if Cheery is in the film, you see she's a very small woman. It's more like a gnome character because there's not the beard. She doesn't have a dwarven build. She's just little. So maybe it's that Cheery is a very short woman raised by dwarves, or she's a dwarf raised by humans, so they shaved her, and also she's the king of Ankh-Morpork. But it's like, why take...
I don't know why that was so funny to me.
Why take the storyline...
Get this dwarf, shave her.
Like, why take the storyline about the human that thinks he's a dwarf and be like, oh, let's swap that with someone. Oh, well, this person is a dwarf. Oh, well, let's swap them. That makes more sense. Why do that? And it's a bit like... Ooh, and this... I don't think this requires a trigger warning, but like for my own sense of... I'm getting into an area here that I'm not an expert on, so please don't feel like I'm telling anyone how to live their life. They've taken the character of Angra and made them transgender. Now, if you're going to make a character transgender, I think that's probably a fine thing to do. It's representative of the world we live in, but it feels super on the nose that you take the character who is a werewolf and already essentially having to deal with being one kind of person and then one kind of, well, actually not a person, a werewolf. Why would you then add an extra layer of being transgender on top of that? It just feels a bit too on the nose. You've decided that Vetinari is a woman. Fine. Vetinari could be transgender. Vimes could be transgender. Why are you taking the person that already has this kind of living two lives aspect to their character and making them live 4 lives? That's mean. That's too many. By a factor of probably 3. Like, I don't know. It just feels like they're trying to be progressive in a way that's like literally the easiest way, but it's so easy you've actually made it super complicated for these characters. So complicated that, like, I don't know, man. It just feels bad. And also Vimes plays guitar. Vimes doesn't play guitar.
Vimes drinks heavily and...
That's another thing.
Swears a
I'm
lot.
more qualified to talk about this, but it's fine. Is Vimes actually an alcoholic?
In the first book... Well, yeah, he is.
But like
He's the first time you see him, he is drunk.
Yeah. But that's
And
literally
then-
it. And then in future books, like what am I in the middle of now? Fifth Elephant. I'm doing them out of order because I'm an idiot. But in Fifth Elephant, he's talking about, oh, I'd like a drink, but actually no, because one drink is a problem. So he is an alcoholic, but he's dealing with it. So like,
Well, he's an alcoholic when you first meet him. When you first meet him, he's pissed.
Yeah.
And then he stops
Yes.
drinking.
Yeah.
But he never drinks because he's an alcoholic.
Whereas this guy they've got in The Watch is essentially a Scottish Mick Jagger character or a Scottish Johnny Depp Pirates of the Caribbean character, or just playing Johnny Depp
Yeah,
himself.
a little bit.
And it's like, that's not... He's not supposed to be a dashing, lovable alcoholic pirate. He's supposed to be a world-weary noir detective with a shiny hat. I don't know, man.
I was reading Bone Collector
Oh, yeah.
last year with Detective Rhymes in his little puff wheelchair. And then I read Feet of Clay
Yes.
with Detective Vines,
Right.
which was fun. And the way that it was written, they felt very much they felt very similar because they were both crime novels, even though one of them was set in real life
Yes.
and one of them there were
Sorry, I'm just looking up
golems and magic.
I'm looking up the IMDb for that, just to like... Okay. Yeah, Lincoln Rhyme.
You know, they were basically the same sort of... They weren't the same sort of book. They weren't the same book,
No.
but they followed the same steps.
Yes.
they were both as much a detective novel as the other.
Yeah, definitely. Which came out first? It would have been Feet of Clay, wouldn't it? Worth a Google. Bone
I
Collector
don't
was
know
99.
Is that the book or the movie?
Oh, good point. I don't want someone's done an album called Feet of Clay and it came out last year. 96. So then Bone Collector book. Oh, okay. So Bone Collector came out a year later. 97.
Oh.
Good year for me.
Sorry, I have things to say on like the gender swapping things.
Okay.
But first, I found a quote from Neil Gaiman about the watch.
Mm.
After Terry Pratchett's daughter Rihanna has said that it has no DNA with her father's watch,
Yes.
so it's nothing to do. Neil Gaiman has compared it to Batman as a news reporter in a yellow trench coat with a pet bat. I mean, that's not it's not a good sign, is it?
No, that's not
But
not a glistening recommendation, is it? That's like a 2-star review. Reads like a 1-star review.
that's less than 2-star review. Come
Yeah,
on.
I think so, maybe.
Like with the gender swaps,
Mm.
if it works,
Yeah, if it
Then-
works, grand.
you know, there's Cut Me Own Throat Dibbler is played by a lady.
Okay.
The patrician is now a lady.
Yes.
I don't know if there's any more. Whatever.
Yeah.
But this is I feel the same way. Maybe. I mean, I'm not a transgender person,
Are you not?
so I can't speak for everyone. It's just what it just feels to me that if you're going to have a character that is transgender or a character who's gay, have a character who's transgender, have a character who's gay, but you could make a new character for this.
Yeah.
Was it in
Also, it really looked
Trek-
like I was
Star Trek.
scratching my ass. I wasn't scratching my ass. I realised my label was out and it was itching me, but it looked like I was scratching my ass.
Cool.
Sorry, that happened
trying-
30 seconds ago and I kept thinking about that looked like I was scratching my ass. I wasn't scratching
I'm
my
trying-
ass.
Very hard to be
I wasn't scratching my ass.
good
Carry
and
on,
nice
Ben.
about these things, and you're just
I'm just
going on
scratching
about
my
how
ass.
itchy your bum hole is.
It's
Thanks.
really itchy. It's this new bum lotion I'm using. It's got grains of salt in it.
Tabasco.
Yeah, really, really bad. Carry on.
Yeah, so I think this was Sulu in the new Star Treks. He's gay in the new Star Trek ones.
Mm.
But he wasn't in the original, and
Yeah.
George Takei, who played original Sulu, who is gay,
Yes.
said that it was like that, but Sulu wasn't gay. Why not introduce a new character that instead of like retrofitting
Yeah.
an existing character, why
Yeah.
not have and sort of like forcing that into a already established identity?
Totally.
Why not have,
Because with that specific
Just-
example, like, is that then... That feels to me more to do with George Takei than Sulu. Because then it feels like the showrunner is trying to say, oh, well, George Takei is homosexual, so as an homage to him, we're making his character homosexual. Because then it kind of feels like, why are you saying this gay man can't play straight? He's a good actor. He can play straight. He did it with George Takei for years. I don't know, man.
I don't know if it was as an homage. I'm not sure.
It feels a bit
why.
like my previous critiques with the watch, it feels a bit like, oh well, this one thing's the thing, so maybe these other things should be the thing. Just because the actor's gay doesn't mean you have to make his characters gay retroactively. You could make someone else gay. Consider that. I don't think they can.
I don't know. It just feels a bit.
It's not great, is it? Doesn't feel good.
I don't know. It's, like you said, it is it a bit on the nose to have the werewolf character to be the trans?
It feels on the nose to me, because it feels like you've decided, oh, we are going to have a trans character. Who would be the easiest person to be trans? Or this person who is a werewolf, because they're already dealing with that issue in this kind of other way. It feels on the nose in that regard to me. I'm using my I statements. Tell me if I'm wrong. I would to do better if I'm wrong.
Oh, I agree. I think you should do better.
Oh, I'm trying real hard.
I mean, we'll have to see how it turns out.
I'm choosing to not, because I've already not got enough time in my life to watch the things that I enjoy. So I'm not going to dedicate time to watching things that I know I will dislike. I
was talking to my dad about it, and my
yes.
dad is who... Sorry, there's the last bit.
No, go on. If it's about your dad, I have time for it.
Ben's dad. Ben's dad was the one who got Ben into Terry Pratchett.
Yes.
So whilst we were talking about this and how shit it might be, we did come to the conclusion that it's more Pratchett.
That's true. Oops, excuse me. Yeah, that's true.
Whilst, this has already been met with a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
Not just from two straight white dudes.
Any adjective would do. Hang on, do I mean adjective?
Most people who have podcasts. It's like from Neil Gaiman and by Pratchett's daughter and stuff. It's not getting the best reviews, but it is something that lots of people would watch and talk about. So this might mean, okay, we can do Pratchett. It would be a success.
Yeah.
But we need to focus. We need to hone it. We need to figure out what we did wrong and get the other things right. So then maybe we'll get good Pratchett down the line.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because I've got 14 Pratchett books left to read and one live action thing to watch. And then that's it. I have then experienced all Terry Pratchett Discworld.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm very uncomfortable with that. That's why I have started reading Pratchett, something else. Pratchett, something else.
Yes, I think that's fair. I'm a little bit behind because I sort of I think I was halfway through Unseen Academicals, and I'm reading them out of order because like my favourite character is Rincewind, probably because of the video games. So I think Unseen Academicals is one of the later ones that has wizards. Even though Rincewind isn't really in it. If you want, I can
tell you exactly what one it is.
I feel like you're going to.
Hang on.
It's really important that we know exactly which one it is. Go on, Ben. Use your counting. You can do it. We're all waiting. I'm so excited.
Fuck you.
Make me.
It is 36th book, I think.
Right. Is it the latest?
Does include the
Is it the latest one with
the ones for young adults also?
Is it the latest one with Rincewind? Because Rincewind isn't even in it that much, but the wizards are. So none of this matters. What I was saying is like that was the one that I was reading a few years ago when I realised I read really slow. Why do I read so slow? And then I stopped trying and then eventually realised, I might be kind of dyslexic. So thanks to Unseen Academicals, which Terry Pratchett's books are very easy to read. Which is why, for most of my young adult life, the only books I would read, and this includes coursework and homework and stuff and essays, I would basically only read Terry Pratchett books because they're so easy and accessible, but also funny. So it's kind of been recently in the last couple of years that I've started using Audible, and have been blitzing through a Pratchett book a month, basically. I'm doing them sort of out of order, but I might go back and watch and listen to, rather, some of the ones I'm more familiar with. Because, again, realising I'm dyslexic, I've probably missed some stuff in the books that I've already read. And I know also the Soul Music and the Witches?
Weird Sisters?
Weird Sisters, thank you. Soul Music and Weird Sisters, especially Soul Music, watched the anime a whole bunch. Soul Music was actually very important to me. I have the soundtrack somewhere. Soul Music is basically why I play any instruments, of all the silly reasons. But I know that there's specific lines that didn't make it into the anime, so I'm going to have to go back and listen to them. But I think I'm going to get up to the last couple books and then go back and retroactively go through all the ones I haven't listened to. And there's even ones like some of the very early books they have on Audible actually aren't very good quality, because I think they just took the early 2000s cassette recordings and just put them onto Audible, and actually there's a lot of lines that are just kind of missing, and things that don't come across very well. They're read by Nigel Planer, who is the hippie in The Young Ones, so they're really well performed.
He is.
But really,
and he's also... Sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say he's also in both of the live action one. Well, the two that I've seen. He's in Colour of Magic and in Hogfather.
Yeah.
Sorry, please continue.
That's okay. Gebudda12323 is very clearly some spam, and they're getting banned. Do one.
Hey.
Someone trying to sell views in our
ban the spam.
Someone trying to sell views in our stream. We don't have any money.
Spam.
What's wrong with you?
Wonderful spam. Lovely spam. Wonderful spam.
I love Mighty Boosh.
Fuck you. I mean, so do I. But that's not what that was.
Where was I going? What was I doing? What was I saying?
I think we were going to start the show.
Do you reckon? I was saying something about Nigel Planer. That was it.
Oh,
so
shit, sorry.
in the cassettes, there's some really weird stuff, like the death character, the death lines all have a crap load of reverb, and they're weirdly bass boosted and very deep sounding, but really artificially. So they don't just stand out; they wake you up, which is not what I want when I'm falling asleep to any books. But they're very boomy and they're very reverby. But rather than we're getting into sound design here, but if you have reverb, it kind of goes, and then other sounds happen on top of this. The tail of the reverb gets cut off when the next line of dialogue comes on, so it's really janky. It's really funny the first one time it happens, and after that it's really annoying. But they do the same effect anytime there's a footnote or anything in brackets, so it happens all the bloody time. So it's really well acted, but poorly produced, and that's a real problem. Do you want to start the show?
Yeah. So
we've done it. We talked about the watch for an hour.
1 hour talking.
1 hour.
Apparently, we may have just put several people off of Terry Pratchett. I really hope that we haven't.
No, Pratchett good, BBC
watch
America
the
bad.
Animated ones, watch the live action ones. Just don't get your hopes up for for the watch.
I mean, the thing is, even play the games, like they weren't canon because Rincewind's hat wasn't pointy enough. But like Eric Idle voices Rincewind, and they're hilarious. They're really good. I mean, they're janky because they were made in the 90s or whatever, but they're good. Okay, are you ready to record? Because I'm ready to record.
I'm going to have a Pringle.
You can have a Pringle, you salty bastard.
Do you want a Pringle?
No, also, I forgot to mention, Laura says not to eat during the stream because these mics are really, really sensitive.
Oh.
So have a whole mouthful now, and then we can start. Everybody watch Ben have his lunch.
There we go. That was my lunch. 2 Pringles.
I mean, that's an idea for your OnlyFans, like eating Pringles too close to a mic. Rather than covering yourself in peanut butter.
Who would have done that?
Some idiot, probably.
Go watch the Valverde celebration.
Go on.
Or the Valverde celebration live stream. That's what I meant to say.
Yes.
Then you can find out.
Yeah, you can find
This is
that.
why we have an editor. This is why we love Laura.
We're not recording yet.
Because she can tell... bollocks. Good point.
Does Ben know this is live? Did I tell him this is live?
Ben sometimes forgets.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so I'm ready to hit the record button. Are you ready to hit the record button?
I'm hitting the record button now.
Hello and
I've
welcome.
done it.
Oh, you've done it. Well done. Hello and welcome to the Conversation Hat podcast, a comedy podcast.
It's here.
A comedy podcast for geeks.
Us.
It's us, a comedy podcast for geeks, artists, and terrible people. I was expecting to be interrupted a third time.
Yeah,
No.
but I thought that would be rude.
God damn it, you're good at this. My name is Liam. I am one of the hosts. That over there is Ben. He's another one of the hosts.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Ben.
Yeah,
I'm
you are.
over here.
Yeah, you are.
We are many, many meters apart.
Many, many men. Today we are recording over live stream.
Which is a good thing.
Which is a
Today
good
we're
thing.
recording.
Today we're
The
recording.
last 3 times, we didn't press the record button.
No.
It was a waste.
It was
we
a
had
waste.
Obama on. He told us all
farmer?
the secrets of the White House.
Oh, Obama.
But we did... Yeah.
I thought you said a
Obama.
farmer.
Yeah, he's a farmer now. Obama the farmer.
Obama the farmer. It rhymes, so
Obama
it's
the
true.
farmer. Yeah.
This is a
But
live
we
stream.
didn't press record.
God
What a
damn
stupid
it.
Thing. We missed an episode of Obama. Obama, we know you listen, buddy. We'd love to have you back.
This is a
Come on,
live
Liam.
motherfucker. This is a
Oh,
live
man.
stream comedy podcast and will be Ben's last appearance because I fired him just now. This is a live streamed comedy podcast going out to Twitch and YouTube on whatever day it is today. We're well ahead of the Halloween celebrations and we are sharing our favourite spooky things.
Spoopy.
Ben is my favourite spoopy thing.
Aww.
But we're embracing late stage capitalism and specifically talking about spooky things you can buy. Save
Or
the
X.
economy.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
They're all things you can buy.
Or you could probably find for free on the internet.
Or steal.
Yeah. Which, you know, I normally... Some people don't have a problem with doing that. However, in the times that we're currently living in, the arts are being even less funded than the underfundedness that they had.
I mean, they're being
So don't
openly slagged
steal-
off, aren't they? So
Don't steal stuff. Pay for it.
if you're going
I'm
to
not
steal,
sure,
steal
I'm not sure how I
electricity.
feel. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about maybe sharing a Netflix password with a friend. Or a loved one. But, you know,
What about someone
go
you
out,
don't
buy the
like? What can I share it with someone I don't like? What's your stance on that?
it's a little bit weird.
It is a bit weird.
But if that's what you want to do, buddy, you live your life. But also make sure that other people can live their lives. So,
just have some basic bloody empathy, yeah?
yeah. And pay for shit.
We are
This
going
is a
out.
good time to say patreon.com/conversation hat. Give us money, you bastards.
We are going out live. You can, of course, support the show on Patreon, as Ben just so nobly plugged. $1 a month, $1 do, which is the least you could possibly give us, gets you access to exclusive Patreon-only episodes every month, and also early access to full-length episodes with guests, which I think is pretty good. If Patreon isn't your speed, you can also you can subscribe on Twitch, which gets us money, and you get nothing. You get an emote. I'm pretty sure there's an emote of Roman's face, but I'm not sure about that. No, Ben.
And what a face it is.
What a face. You definitely get the logo. I'm not sure. I need to do more stuff with Twitch, but it would be encouraging if people subscribed, so I know that that's worth doing. Money, please. You can catch these live streams once a month. Ben's got a thing up his nose, as is the style.
This is so that you mention it. Those listening to the podcast can't see what I have up my nose, and therefore they're now intrigued.
You're compelling
so they may
people
tune
to
in for the next one.
Gotcha. That's really smart. If you want to know when the live streams are, you can find Conversation at Podcast on Facebook. I hate Facebook, but it's the only social platform with an events function. And you can also come find us on Twitter. By golly, we do tweet about some things.
It is really, you are right with the Facebook thing. I was thinking this the other day because I have turned off Facebook notifications.
It's good, isn't it?
And my God,
it's better.
Do I have so much more time to worry about other things?
Mm-hmm.
I'm now in no way stressed about Facebook.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
My anxiety has moved on to other stuff.
Yeah.
Like how much hoovering I haven't done, or
which is good. That's a good thing to be anxious about.
The political state of the world and Christ. But
yeah,
I would like to get rid of Facebook. I would like to not be on Facebook anymore. However, as you just said, it's the only social platform with an event page.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from like meeting up with some people in the pub, when was the last, like, how were you invited to the last thing, like last birthday or something that you went to that wasn't on Facebook?
Yeah.
I'm genuinely thinking it was with colourful invitations written by the person's mum.
Yes. Yeah, totally. And as far as I'm concerned, that is all Facebook has going for it. There are groups, but I don't like a lot of Facebook groups because they're real weird a lot of the time. Like there's a few I quite like for like podcasters and stuff, but they're a lot of the time you'll post something and someone will get angry with you in a group and it's like, oh, well, this is exactly the same as talking to my aunts or whatever. Like it's I don't know. Group seems to be the thing that Facebook are pushing, and that's how you get echo chambers. Like the good thing about pages, because we all used to have bands and we all used to promote pages on YouTube, on Facebook. It was like having a little website for whatever it is you're doing, and that was great because you could share stuff, you could send people to your website or whatever, you could like build a community. Facebook's basically scrap pages without telling anyone, so now they actively promote groups, which has the same function as far as marketing goes, but because things aren't shared outside of the group, you're not accountable to people outside of the group, so things get really echo chambery. So if you thought things were bad in 2016, like, it's a whole lot more divisive now. It's just that you don't see how divisive it is because you don't see the groups you're not a part of. So Facebook does need to go in the bin. We do need other platforms that are, you know, with event functions, but the problem is that there's some really good event websites out there, but they're third party, so they try to integrate with things like Twitch and other platforms, but you need that inside of the platform for it to actually work. I mean, all of that will be edited out,
Probably.
but
like,
it's good.
Facebook's already got that. So
Yes.
why are people going to look at other things? But it's that and Messenger. Very few people text.
Yes. Facebook Messenger, by the way, they're going to combine Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp Messenger into one Messenger app soon. So if you're on one of those, you're about to be on all of them.
That's really annoying because I don't like being on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And WhatsApp is... I've told everyone who tries to WhatsApp me, I don't have notifications on.
Yeah.
Which did shoot me in the arse when Sai was streaming the other day and he said that he would message me. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch your stream.
Yeah.
With buddies, with friends. That's
Yeah.
what good friends do.
Yeah.
And he messaged me on WhatsApp and I didn't get a noisy buzz.
Yeah.
Completely forgot about it until 3 hours after he finished.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But I do basically prefer WhatsApp because it does feel private, even though there's no reason for that because it's still owned by Facebook. But it feels more private. I don't know. Like, again, like we need a better thing that isn't owned by Facebook, and that's true of every aspect of my life. Shall we get on with? I mean, that's spooky, isn't it?
I was gonna say
That's a good
Facebook
spooky
owns
start.
Lots of stuff, and it listens to you. And oh, spooky.
Yeah, but so does your phone. So whatever.
Worryingly so. This is podcast people won't know this, but I'm wearing spooky coloured contacts.
Those
They're
are
all
his
black and
regular
red and funky.
eyes. That's just what his eyes look like.
Well, shut up. I'm going to lie and say that they were contacts.
Fine.
Yeah, so I was struggling to put them in because I haven't put contacts in for years. So I did go on YouTube and just like, okay, contact lens videos, how to put them in, see if there was a easier way than just
Mashing
jamming your finger in your eye, which is what I was doing. And then just before we started streaming, I went on Instagram, looked at a couple of my friends' stories, and you get adverts pop up in between?
Yeah.
The first advert was for laser eye surgery.
Yes.
I've never had a laser eye surgery advert before.
Yep.
But I did as soon as I YouTubed contact lenses.
Yes. Yeah.
That
Cookies.
shit's scary.
It's cookies, man. What was I going to say?
I like cookies.
I'm leaning towards Discord in terms of chats and messages and stuff, and community building. It's one of them things where like, I don't want to have to get into another platform. But like actually Discord is sort of the best so far because I like being able to mute individual channels, which is something you can do on Facebook Messenger. So like I have a work thing that I have muted because I don't need that. It's a Sunday.
Sure.
So that's something I like about Discord. I like the kind of customization options for communities that you manage. I think Discord is probably the way, to be honest. I know that you're like, I hope this isn't rude, but you're like a late adopter of things in general.
I have no idea how Discord works.
I mean, me neither.
I downloaded it for Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And it was just a nightmare. It was just a list of things that you could click that led you to more lists of things you could click.
Yeah.
And it was just constantly screaming notifications at me. And I genuinely got scared that this is how I'm going to be when I'm much older about everything.
Well, I mean,
I
the
had
good
a
news
little
is
glimpse into like my mum's life when she tries to use her iPad.
the good news is that you're not gonna like degrade then in terms of your access to technology. You're just gonna plateau for the rest of your life, which I guess is a positive, right?
I suppose, but what if I plateau now?
That's what I'm saying. You have plateaued. You are
And then-
plateaued. This is it.
Yeah, but that means in 10 years I'll have no idea what.
Yeah, but
the
you
stuff
have
is
no
doing.
idea now. That's what I'm
I
saying.
know what everything's doing, just not Discord.
Just Discord. It's just Discord.
I'm an expert in all other things.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Ask me a
seen
question
evidence
about
for that.
anything, and I'll know the answer. Go on.
Okay, about anything that isn't Discord.
Anything that isn't Discord.
What channels
Anything
are...
in the world.
What social platforms are Odd Creative on?
We're on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We are on Instagram and Facebook, at least in some iteration.
Mm-hmm.
We're also on Twitch.
Mm-hmm. Specifically Odd Creative. Not the podcast, not the music blog, specifically Odd Creative.
YouTube.
Right.
It's on that.
Yeah. And then go on, make a guess.
What, did you want all of the answers?
Yeah, I want the platforms that Odd Creative are on.
I said that I would give you one answer, my friend.
You're the expert of wriggling out of shit. That's what you're the expert of.
You've got no proof of that.
See? I can see.
Oh dear.
Should we start the podcast?
Yes, Ian, what things are we talking about today?
Right. The purpose of this particular podcast, because this is coming out in the middle of October, we wanted to share some of the spooky things that we have been enjoying so that you can go get spooked yourself. We will have minor spoilers for the benefit of people who aren't going to watch these things, but like your podcast app has a skip forward button. So what I suggest you do is you skip backwards, listen to the amount of time that you're going to skip forwards again, and then skip forwards so that our analytics aren't all messed up, yeah? Ben, don't worry about it. You don't have to be an expert in podcast apps, just Discord. So, we have a list of categories here. We've got books, films, games, TV, and food. Spooky food. Do you have a preference as to where we start, Ben?
I would like to begin with books.
Okay. Do you want to start with books? Because I actually have 3 books, but they're all sort of mini suggestions. So I guess you go ahead.
Well, as with all things, I have one answer, and that's all that is necessary.
Sure.
We were talking earlier in the live stream about Terry Pratchett.
Were we?
And we were talking about Terry Pratchett and the watch that's coming out, the TV series, and all little Terry Pratchett-y type things.
Mm-hmm.
We also mentioned Good Omens, which is written by Sir Terry Pratchett and one Mr. Neil Gaiman.
Yes.
And this is the only other work by Neil Gaiman that I have read so far.
Mm-hmm.
The book is called Ocean at the End of the Lane. Have you heard of the Ocean at the End of the Lane?
I have not. What is it?
This was recommended to me by a friend. This may not be inherently spooky, but yes, this was recommended by a friend of mine, and she said, don't look up anything about it.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and say this relatively unspoilery.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oop.
It starts basically. It's almost all done in flashback, but it's not. So the book begins. It's the protagonist, this unnamed man, returns to like his hometown for a funeral.
Yeah.
And then he sort of he goes sort of like to see his old house and the house down the road where his neighbours lived, and there's this woman that he bumps into, and they sort of have a bit of a chat, and then he remembers 40 years back to when he was a child, and it's sort of like repressed memory and then that's the story that you go through. He meets this little girl when he's small, who lives in the house down the way with her mother and her grandmother, who, you know, they're sort of a little. They're very friendly, in sort of a, oh yes, if you put this in tea and this in tea, they feel a little bit grandma-y, maybe a little bit witchy,
Okay.
but like nice, good witches. Sort of yeah, not ones that are going to put kids in the oven.
Right.
And
You fry
yes, this little-
children. You get the crispy skin if you fry them.
We grill them. It's healthier.
It is healthier, that's true.
Yes. And this little girl Letty says that the pond at the bottom of her garden is the ocean.
Okay.
Hence the name of the book.
Yeah.
Then things a little bit weird sort of start happening. There was a guy who'd committed suicide down the road between these houses. Then odd things start happening to our protagonist. He wakes up in the middle of the night with a coin lodged in his throat.
Ooh.
I was
That's
just
not
like,
what you want.
oh god, that's not what anyone wants, is
Yeah.
it?
Well, no.
He goes to Letty because she seems to have some sort of knowledge about weird things. So he goes for help. She gets the coin out, and then they go. She goes, right, I know what's happening here. There's a bad spirit, and we will go and we will bind that spirit so none of this is happening anymore.
Mhm.
She takes him with her into the woods, and she says, "You have to hold my hand, no matter what happens. Got to hold my hand." And then they find this spirit. A little bit creepy things going on,
Mm-hmm.
and our protagonist is caught in a moment of surprise, where he momentarily lets go of
A
Letty's
fart.
hand.
Oh, sorry.
No, of Letty's hand, not a fart.
Not a fart.
Although, to be fair, if supernatural shit's going on, a fart is it's understandable.
I
Some
think
people
so.
poo themselves, but a fart,
Yes.
no one's going to judge you
Yeah.
for farting at a scary thing. It might put it off. It's a survival technique,
It's a survival technique.
Yeah.
It is.
Stay away!
Away, ghost.
Yes, so he lets go of her hand. And then she's like, "Oh, I've got rid of the thing. You didn't let go of my hand, did you?" He's like, "No, of course I didn't." And then they return, having binded the spirit. They return home, and all is well.
Good.
Or is it?
I don't know, Ben. Isn't it?
It's not.
Is it
it's
not?
not all well because he let
Bugger.
go of the hand.
Ah, poop. Oh, yeah.
So the spirit might have come back with them.
Right.
And when they get back, there is a babysitter at his house. And I'm going to leave my description of the book there,
Mm.
because I would definitely recommend reading this. It does get real creep. I didn't expect it to be a supernatural thing, and then when some of the supernatural things started, like in horror movies, when like you're looking, someone's seen something over in the distance, and they're like, "Oh no, oh, I'm sure whatever that was has gone," and they turn around and it's right in their face.
Yeah.
It's got some of that in it,
Interesting.
but it was so unexpected to me
Yeah.
going in reading this book knowing absolutely nothing, that when that happened it was genuinely unsettling,
Cool.
and to the point where I'm getting small amount of goosebumps just talking about some of these
Getting
bits.
spooked out live on air. Our first
'Cause it
spook,
was-
ladies and gentlemen.
Our first spook. Put that up on the board. Spook number 1.
Jink.
It was genuinely frightening.
Cool.
Yeah, a genuinely frightening thing to experience. It was something that I've never got from books before, of being genuinely afraid of these things.
Cool.
So yeah, if you want, it's not very long. I have a copy of it around here somewhere, but I'm not going to dig for it at the moment.
Sure.
It's not a very long book, but it's, I'm going to finish reading Terry Pratchett, and then I'm going to move on to the works of Neil Gaiman,
Nice.
and I'm very excited about that because of this book.
Good stuff. So, sorry, was that a Neil Gaiman book? Or
That is a Neil Gaiman book.
Gaiman book. Good stuff. I'm with mine sort of trying to. I'm not going for like overtly horror-based stuff, but stuff that's kind of or overtly scary stuff. I'm trying to do stuff that like, some of it's kind of just basically got zombies in it, but isn't like overtly scary. It's just kind of like spooky ooky in that sort of way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And some of this
Not
stuff.
all of my stuff is scary.
Sure. And some of this stuff is, in hindsight, a bit lame, but actually at the time was quite quite scary to me. So cast your mind back. One of the, I don't know if it was one, it was an earlier live stream. I don't know if it was, might have been one of the first-ish, where we spoke about Marble Hornets and Slenderman and
Hang on.
that whole thing. Do I need to?
There, my mind has been casted back.
Perfect. I look forward to watching my body thrashing around in the playback. So when we were talking about Marble Hornets, or rather when I was into Marble Hornets, I was sort of into SCP Foundation, which was a collection of short stories on a website, and they're all basically about like creepy objects. And I was into sort of I don't know if there's like a term for it, but this kind of like contemporary horror, like Slenderman stuff that exists on the internet, and something when like talking to people about like other stuff to try out was the Book of Leaves. Book of Leaves is the sort of thing that like pseudo-intellectual gross white dudes will probably all have a copy of on their bookshelf. I own 2. True story. I bought a version for my.
I really wanted to say, oh, I've heard of this. I really want a copy. Oh, cool.
It's kind of.
I'll borrow one of yours.
Because I bought a copy for myself and I bought a copy for my brother at the same time, who's similarly pasty and disgusting. It's a really cool concept for a book, and I'm a sucker for anything that like maximizes or subverts whatever medium they are presented within, even if that means the thing itself is a bit lame. Bandersnatch, for example, on Netflix, I thought was genius, and I can't wait to have more interactive videos like that. I thought that was really cool. I loved it back in the day when YouTube videos were interactive and you could sort of like do a choose your own adventure storybook type thing with like suggested videos. YouTube sort of ruined that a little bit. And they were like sports car adverts where you could change the camera angle as the video played, like kind of seamlessly, which was crazy. But like they did away with all that. So anything that like screws with the medium, I'm really into. And Book of Leaves is the book version of that. I do have a copy, but I couldn't find it because it's buried under some crap or whatever. Book of Leaves is several stories that run concurrently. There's the story of a family who buy a house, and this is the House of Leaves. Did I say Book of Leaves or House of Leaves?
I think you said Book of Leaves.
That's stupid. Book is the medium.
House is the leaves.
Houses of Leaves. House of Leaves. God damn it. Did I write down Book of Leaves? I wrote down Book of Leaves. I'm an idiot. House of Leaves.
Bless you for changing that.
No one will know. I'm going to share this document so you can all see.
I've only noticed because of the tappy noise.
Tibbity tabby. House of Leaves is a book about a house of leaves. So the first story is about a family that buy this house, not a book, a house. And what's weird about the house is that doors will randomly appear, and corridors will sometimes just be a bit longer or shorter than they should have been. And wait, was there a basement? Hang on, where'd the annex go? Just random the house will just like expand
Where's
and
Granny gonna
contract.
stay?
And Granny's gone. Hooray! And just bloody House of Leaves. Shut up, Captain Buddy 7. And they get like plans, like the blueprint of the house, and there's just stuff that shouldn't be there. And they're like, they measure the interior of the house, and then they go outside, and the interior is bigger than the exterior, TARDIS style, all kinds of crap like that. And eventually, the man of the house, like gets trapped in a maze type thing, and like I don't know, I didn't get very far into it because it's fucking hard to read if you're dyslexic, for reasons we'll get into, other than being long and wordy. I don't know if we're supposed to think there's like a Minotaur in this maze, Theseus styley, or if we're just supposed to do it, or if we're just supposed to think there's a Minotaur because it's a maze. I don't know. So that's the A story. And then there's other stories which are about a reporter who's kind of a bit of a ne'er-do-well, drug addict, party type guy who's like reporting about the House of Leaves and the family that went there. And then there's snippets of other little stories throughout. But the way it's told is that some pages will have no text on.
Okay.
Some pages will have like, I think you get some really, really fine print. Some are just backwards. Some have like a wall of text, but then the block in the corner is another story. Or sometimes there's just gaps in text, and it's sort of supposed to like reflect in some places, kind of expansive, agoraphobic, and then suddenly claustrophobic nature of this house expanding and contracting for no reason. And it's just supposed to like be disorientating and stuff. So you kind of find that like you're reading this bit in the corner, so you go forward, you read 10 pages, and then you have to be like, right, that bit's ended. Now I've got to go back 10 pages and read the other story. So it really does make a lot of use of the medium and what you can do with like the written word. And it's the sort of thing that like you ain't gonna get. I sincerely hope you never get a film or TV version of House of Leaves.
Because it wouldn't
work. You wouldn't be
have
able
the
to,
same effect.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell those stories at the same time, not without having to rewind the video, and you're not going to do that in a cinema, are you? That would be fun though, wouldn't it? So that's something that like in retrospect as a 31-year-old dude, it is a bit like meh. I like the B story, for example, is like really obviously trying to be just really obviously trying to make this gross kind of character that as a teenager you go, oh yeah, he's cool, I want to be like him, and it's just a bit lame. So like in retrospect, it's a bit meh. The story isn't that strong, but actually like the way the narrative is written and the way they exploit the medium is really, really dope. So I would recommend it for that. And it's kind of a cool idea, and I know it's inspired like a lot of very cool media bending kind of stuff. So that's book number 1 for me. The other 2 I won't go on about.
Well, I mean that's now on my Christmas list.
You can borrow one of my versions. Book 2, Mogworld, got zombies in it. That's it. That's all I have to say. Hey,
Liam.
Let's make them kiss.
Yay!
Mwah. Lovely.
Mwah. Mwah.
So Yahtzee Croshaw, we've definitely spoken about this on stream before. Yahtzee Croshaw
Yes.
is video game reviewer. He does 0 punctuation for the Escapist. Heckin' funny videos on, if you are into games, that's one of the reviews on YouTube that you're probably already familiar with.
Slightly Civil War as well, he does.
Yes, there's that one as well.
Which is very good game discussion.
He's got a really kind of he's got a kind of Pratchett-esque way of writing fantasy, I think. Like there's a lot of humor in the way that things are explained, and the characters are like super relatable and sarcastic. Mogworld is basically about a zombie that wants to die, but he can't die, and he's got to work out how he gets to die. And it's spooky because it's about death and zombies.
Why not?
Why not? Massively recommend that. And also, if you again, I this is Laura's copy. I listened to it on Audible because Yahtzee Croshaw narrates it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I might give that a go. He said he's like Pratchett. My favourite way of someone describing Terry Pratchett's writing style was, it's like a bloke's chatting to you in a pub.
Yeah.
It's very casual but engaging writing style. And yeah, I would say Yahtzee Croshaw.
Very similar.
There's a very, he does it in the same sort of way. If you're being told a story instead of reading a book.
Yeah, you're chatting with a really good storyteller rather than a novelist. Last book for me. Last book on the left from the guys at Last Podcast on the left. It's basically a book about serial killers, but it's funny. I'm going to do a big burp. Told you.
Gross.
I've spoken about Last Podcast on the left before, like one of my favourite podcasts, talking about creepy stuff, serial killers, witches, and all that kind of good stuff. They're releasing episodes about witches currently, so it's worth a listen. Spotify exclusive there. Again, I don't know why I'm doing their promo work for them. And their book is a book about serial killers, and it's got some really cool illustrations. Oh yeah, it's signed. We got a signed one. That's dope. Forgot about that bit. And it's kind of got bits that are told from like the perspective of the podcasters as well. So like Last Podcast on the left is one of those kind of character driven things where like you listen because you like the people who are talking, perhaps more than the subject of murder. So that's one of the really appealing things about the book. It's got really good illustrations as well. A little bit spooky. I don't know if you can see that, but
I was getting very confused. You've moved your camera, but not the one that I see you on.
Yes, so it doesn't matter. So there you go, Ben. There you go. Illustrations. There
you
go.
just
There's
showed
the
me
cover.
lots of words, but cool.
Lots of words.
Oh, there's
Good
John
book.
Wilkes Booth.
There he is. So those are my 3 spooky book suggestions.
I have an honourable mention, if I may.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's allowed. Nah, go on.
Resident Evil.
The game. The book, the game.
The book of the game. The game of the book.
Right. The game of the House of Leaves. The
series written by S.D. Perry. And this book, it's easily one of the most read books that I own.
Cool.
All of this stuff isn't like meant to make the book look scary. That's just how often I've read it.
Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, S.D. Perry. It's fun, particularly if you've played the games. And if you weren't very good at the games, like me, because I was small. I was like 8 when the first one came out.
Yeah.
I couldn't play them. The fixed camera angles, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I get it.
So I would go round to a friend's house. He would play the games while I watched. So these I can experience without not being able to play the games. So yeah.
Awesome.
I think she also does some Star Trek novels as well.
Okay. I was going to say, yeah, S.D. Perry sounds like a very familiar name.
Mm.
What do you want to go on to next? Film, game, TV, food?
Oh, let's do a film, shall we?
Cool. Do you want to go first?
I have 2 little films.
Oh, bloody hell, go on.
I do realise that the book that I described, I didn't want to give too much information away about, because I don't want to spoil things.
Sure.
This movie's going to be similar. This movie... Have you ever heard of Orphan?
The concept, or
I mean, the concept you probably have heard of, but this is a 2009 horror movie
Oh yeah.
called Orphan.
Yes.
I'm not going to get. So there's this family who are trying to have another baby. They've already got 2 kids. They do not succeed. They lose the baby during labour. Very sad. They decide then to adopt. Because, it's a good thing to do, adopting.
Yes.
I genuinely think that if I choose to have children, I think adoption is a very good thing.
Yeah.
Because, the world's overpopulated already.
There is that. Yeah.
Don't need to bring another one in.
Nope.
When there's lots that could do with being looked after and have a little family.
Yeah.
And also, if they're little shits, you could probably take them back.
Yeah. Keep the receipt, innit?
I wanted to keep, I thought that I'd said something nice, so I thought I'd just swing it back to the terrible comedy that we do.
Keep it
But
neutral.
Yeah, I genuinely think that I would adopt.
Yeah.
Having said that, when they go to the orphanage, the little adoption place, they meet Esther,
Mm-hmm.
who is a 9-year-old Russian girl.
Right.
But perhaps not all that she seems, or is more than she seems. Weird stuff starts happening around the house.
Okay.
The nun that's meant to go and help Esther, get integrated with the family, because she warns the mother that weird stuff happens when Esther is around.
Mm-hmm.
Like other kids getting hurt, but being too scared to say who hurt them and
Sure.
these sorts of things. Yeah, it's totally Esther. She's doing shit with hammers and dead pigeons and slowly trying to get people,
Cool.
kill people.
Nice.
And it's very interestingly done because, child murder.
Yeah. Big fan.
I mean, that it's a thing that happens.
Yes.
There's all these American TV shows like kids who kill, blah, 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 blah. Like they do. It does make you feel very uneasy.
Yeah.
There's funny bits. There's dark humor. I mean, it's dark humor.
Yeah.
But it's really interestingly done. And there is the best twist that I have ever experienced in book, theatre, film, or TV. You will not get it.
Cool. I like it.
There is no way that you would be able to guess what the hell it would be. And we were talking about trigger warnings earlier. It's not because she's adopted. Just because people are adopted doesn't make them mental or anything like that.
Okay.
That's something that seems to be a trope in certain Hollywood movies,
That's true.
a certain genre.
Yeah.
And that is...
There was a story of a Russian girl that was adopted by an American family, and that I can't remember the outcome of it, so I'm not going to dwell on it. Do go Google it. But I think the upshot is they're not sure if they adopted a very small 40-year-old Russian woman.
I mean, we
Just-
might edit this bit out,
Yeah.
but you've seen this movie then.
Oh. No. This was a real life story. Like it wasn't a folklore or anything. No, this is something that happened quite recently. So that's the plot to the movie then.
Yeah, spoiler
Oh.
alert, sorry, but
Oh.
it turns out that she is actually a 40-year-old grown woman with a specific type of dwarfism, which is a real type.
Right.
So she just looks like a 10-year-old girl.
Okay.
And she's also mental.
Right.
This is why she's pretending to be a
Okay.
child. And like she wants to burn the house down.
Yeah.
She's trying to seduce the dad.
Right.
And because, hey, he doesn't want to.
Shocking.
Right? Who'd have thought it?
Yeah.
She then tries to go bananas and kill everyone.
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, that twist, which you accidentally.
Well, no, because that's a
got
different
got
story.
spot
Like
on.
the
That's an actual.
because it wasn't that this. I don't think this situation. I don't think they were trying to kill the parents. I think they were just like caught smoking a few times and told them to F off. And they were like, "You can't tell me to F off. You're a child." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm 40. Go away." I think the reason it came to public knowledge is that the parents tried to abandon her in like an apartment, so they just left her in an apartment and they went somewhere else, and it was like child mistreatment, obviously, and they were like, no, she's a grown up, and the police were like, pretty sure she's not a grown up.
I did a quick Google,
Okay.
which oh my god, it's now all turned into a chocolate advert.
What a roller coaster.
That's what you get for when you click on the Daily Mail. So yeah, this is the Daily Mail. So it's
Okay.
most of the facts probably will have been made up, but Indiana mother who adopted 6-year-old Ukrainian girl with dwarfism has been charged with abandonment, but claims her daughter was found to be a 22-year-old sociopath masquerading as a child.
I got the age slightly wrong, but okay.
But hey, that was in 2019.
Yes.
I'm not 16. I'm 16, not a 33-year-old scam artist. That's another news thing.
Wow.
She denied. She said she was 16.
Yeah.
6 when she came. Okay. Oh. They're currently facing charges of neglect and will stand trial in early 2020. So, I think she was
probably
actually a child.
Yes. But for some reason they thought
So she was
wasn't.
actually a child, but they tried to say that she was in her 20s.
But how do you find that out? Do you like cut her legs open and
Cut
count
her
the
leg
rings?
off and then you count the rings, yeah.
Right, okay. That's good.
Oh, I was giving her a bath and noticed that she had full pubic hair.
Wow. Okay.
I had just been told she was 6 years old, and it was very apparent that she wasn't.
Okay. Great.
Well, I'm not going to start reading
No, we
through
can,
all of this.
It's all good. We can move on. So the film that I have is actually...
Oh my god, hang on.
Oh,
Sorry,
God.
I've just got to the bottom of it.
Okay.
It said, wait, isn't this already a plot for a movie? Yes, it's the plot for the 2009 film Orphan.
So this is just the same film 10 years later, but in real life. Amazing.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's real. I don't know if it's not. Maybe they saw the movie.
So my film recommendation is actually a Ben Pierson suggestion, although he hasn't watched it. Somehow.
Go on.
Slaughterhouse Rules. Which
Ha!
you have you
Sucks
seen
to
it
be
now?
you. I watched it 3 days ago.
Amazing. I thought that Ben had recommended this film having seen the film. Ben recommended this film off the strength of its trailer. It is a good film.
I did.
And also
It
the
is.
trailer is good. So it is the story of a kind of working class boy who goes to a very snobby private school, and it's got all the tropes of like a snobby private school. It feels a lot like kind of modern St. Trinian's for boys, basically. Except there are girls in it, but they're begrudgingly. And it's about fracking. They're starting to frack on the site of Slaughterhouse, which is the name of the school.
A big old school.
Big old school. And then fracking goes wrong with quasi-Halloween-y consequences. It's pretty good. It's got Sean Penn in it. Do I mean Sean Penn?
You mean
No.
Simon Pegg?
Simon Pegg. Not Sean Penn.
Sean
Different
Penn,
person.
Simon Pegg. It's an S name and then an item.
And it's got who's the headmaster? Michael Gove as the head teacher.
Is this working? Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen makes all things go clean.
That he does.
That's Mr. Muscle. Yeah, it's got Michael Sheen as the headmaster. It's really funny. It's really well edited. It's the same director as the Cornetto trilogy, I believe, whose name is...
No,
No? Crap.
I don't think it is.
Well.
Because that is that's Edgar Wright who does that.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought that it was the Cornetto trilogy group,
Yes.
but it is not quite.
Our director,
it's-
Crispian Mills. Go IMDb. Well, it feels like
It's
Cornetto
very-
trilogy, doesn't it? How it's edited. Oh, okay. That's
It's
because
very similar.
it's Simon Pegg's production company. That's why it feels like that.
It's produced by them.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not quite as daft humor. It's not quite as funny.
Yeah.
It leans a bit more towards the horror, sort of horror movie aspect.
Yeah. I mean, not massively, but yeah, certainly a bit.
Not hugely. It's still got bits that you will laugh at, but it's
Yes.
Instead of them taking the piss out of a horror comedy, horror genre.
Yeah.
It's sort of a horror movie with jokes in it.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. So Slaughterhouse is one word. Slaughterhouse, and rules is spelt with a Z. Slaughterhouse Rules.
Because of course it is.
Because of course it is. And it came out last year. Yeah, it's good. Watch it. It's good. It's on Netflix, I think. Did I watch it on
Yes.
Netflix? Probably.
I watched it on Netflix.
Ben watched it on Netflix.
I watched it on Netflix. Liam watched it on Netflix.
I probably did. Yeah, so that's my film.
Yeah. Pleased. I was going to talk about Insidious for a little bit.
Oh yeah, go on.
Um,
You've got 20 seconds for Ben's top
Okay,
10
basically-
Insidious facts. Top
okay, I watched
fact
Insidious
number one.
the other day,
Yep.
and it was sort of okay. I'm not that into horror movies, so I watched it, and it was a bit scary. And then there was a bit with an old woman that really creeped me out. And then I was like, whenever I went to the toilet for the next couple of days. But then we watched the second one, and the old woman is actually a man in drag, and it got a lot less scary when I found that out.
That's 10 facts. Oh, we were going for 10. Well done.
I thought there was 10.
I wasn't counting the time, though.
I thought you were counting 10 seconds, so I stopped
No,
there.
I was counting the facts.
I was just going to mention it because, I thought that the first movie was actually kind of scary, or at least unsettling.
Yeah.
There's a weird demon that does sewing machines
Ooh.
whilst listening to Tiptoe Through the Tulips, which is very odd.
Sure.
But yeah, then the second one happened and it made it less scary.
Okay.
So,
Go figure.
yeah.
Cool.
It's weird sometimes. Maybe just one is enough,
Sure.
because that would have still freaked me out, perhaps to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a picture of it while I was doing a little bit of research, and I was like, that's creepy. That's the creepy old woman that freaked me out.
Yeah.
But now your brain goes, it's just a bloke in a dress.
Right. Yeah.
And
Good
again,
stuff.
it was sort of like the adoptive thing. It felt like a very easy. Oh well, we'll just say that he was abused and started wearing dresses. And it's like that's.
Yeah. I get it. Jolly good.
I mean, I'm not sure what year that came out, but it wasn't the fucking 80s. I would like to hope that we're a bit better than that now. Not everyone, and not much, but a bit better.
A little. Game, TV, or food?
Well, I'd actually like to just give a quick brief honourable mention to the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
The biggest, most successful movies based on a video game ever.
Yeah, true.
They're getting redone. They're getting a reboot, which are closer to the games because the movies brought in a lot of money, but they weren't consistently good.
Yeah,
there was a couple of good ones, and then some were just bad. So that's me just being excited about new Resident Evil movies, new Resident Evil TV shows.
Cool.
I'm excited. I'm going to allow you to pick between movies and TV shows.
You mean games?
Sorry, video games and TV shows.
I mean, the next one on my list is games, so let's go with games.
Okay.
I have Prey.
Well, it is a Sunday.
Let me get some facts up about Prey. The reason I've got Prey is because we recently got the DLC for Prey, and we have been playing the DLC. Prey's 2017 video game. It's sci-fi. You are in space, and you realise that things are wrong in space. There's a kind of a goopy, messy material that can. You've sort of got these little sci-fi goopy spidery things, and they can copy other things. So, like in the game, if you saw these two cans together, one of them would be a spider, and it would jump at you. Hence the phrase "trust no mugs," which you will no doubt be familiar with.
That is the phrase.
Trust no mugs. So it's a horror game because every time you see pairs of things, you expect to be attacked and you expect there to be a jump scare. There's also like the kind of hulking humanoid versions of the goopy monster, and they have like telekinetic powers and will mess you up big time. And it does a lot of kind of there's the psychological aspect of the horror because you don't know what physical items around you can trust, and you don't know when you're next going to be attacked. And the way that the goopy monsters move is super unpredictable, so there's that aspect to it as well. And you can sort of try to, you can either like develop your skill set, or you can develop as a player, as a character, you can develop your like telekinetic abilities, so you have the chance to use these monsters against themselves, which is very cool. And it's all a bit upsetting because there's corpses everywhere and you're alone in space, so it's all quite creepy anyway. Very strong storyline as well. Basically, you're in space. It's an alternate timeline where I think basically Kennedy doesn't get assassinated and the space program happens a lot sooner. That's the gist of the story.
Okay.
But obviously you uncover like dirty dealings and stuff, which is very fun. Yeah, it's real good. It's pretty spoopy. We got the DLC. I think the DLC is called Moon Landing or Moon Base or something. Moon Crash. There it is. Prey Moon Crash. Moon Crash is a little different because it's obviously set in the same world. I think it's set just after the events of Prey. Holy crap, the ending to Prey is really good. In Moon Crash, which came out in 2018, you are a it doesn't really state what role you are, but I think you're a researcher or a hacker or something. You get delivered a package of memories that you can literally plug into your brain and play through, and you're basically are given one map, one level that's quite large, but you explore this level as different characters. And the goal is to, every time you go through, you unlock a different character and a different area. And the idea is that you rescue these other characters and you all make it off the moon base. And obviously, like, you start off and, like, a certain section is the memory is corrupted, so you have to find another way to access that memory. So it's got quite an interesting angle on top of that. The regular kind of sci-fi and horror tropes that I've described. The extra angle is sometimes the game is broken on purpose and it will bug out on purpose and you can't access stuff because it's broken, because you're in space and things break. So that's like an extra weird angle on top of it, sort of not being able to know what is actually happening, or whether these are legit memories or whether they're corruptions. And again, you uncover more creepy stuff about the company. It's real good, and it makes me poop. That's my summary.
Oh, good.
Praise great.
I do.
I mean, it's
remember that
awful,
coming out
but
and
it's
having
great.
Lots of good reviews.
Yes.
And lots of people going, yeah, it's scary.
Yes.
It's a scary thing.
Yeah, it is.
You've got the glue gun.
You have a glue gun, so you can you can kind of build staircases and stuff. It's kind of like
by shooting goo at the wall.
By shooting goo, and you
shoot the goo.
It's sort of the same function as like a freeze ray in a lot of games. So like your enemies aren't dead; they're just frozen, and then you can shoot them or hit them with a hammer. So that's quite good. And you can also build build staircases. And like, if there's a fire, you can put the fire out. If there's a gas leak, you can seal the gas leak with the glue gun. There's something very simple mechanic that you can get a lot out of. Yeah, glue gun, best kind of gun.
Yay!
Go on, Ben. What's your game?
I've just realised that I've sort of done this in the wrong order.
Idiot.
Yeah. Because each category that I have an honourable mention to Resident Evil.
Okay. Oh, I see.
And the video game that I've chosen...
Shocking.
It's Super Mario Maker. No, it isn't. It's not Super
That's
Mario
weird.
Maker.
I thought he's going to make a joke and it's going to be Mario. That was weird. I thought you were going to go Super Mario World, though, not Mario Maker.
No.
Doesn't count.
The game is Resident Evil.
Sure. Why?
Or as Hillary Clinton's administration called it, Resident of Evil Creek.
What?
Do you remember? Oh, I heard that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That feels better, doesn't it?
It does. I can see.
Do you remember, I think, late 90s, early noughties?
Vividly.
There was American politicians were all against video games because those are what kill people, not guns.
No.
We need to get rid of the video games that make people shoot people, not the guns that people actually shoot people with.
Yeah, obviously.
And yes, Hillary Clinton was giving a speech and said that one of the worst offenders of this is Resident of Evil Creek. I guess that's what she thought Resident Evil was called. But it's not. It's Resident Evil. Or, in Japan, it's called Biohazard.
Yeah. Okay, that's stupid. Well done.
Good job, Clinton.
Is there somewhere called Evil Creek?
Well, I'll let you Google that.
All right, then.
For those of you who don't know, Resident Evil, 1996. Not 1998, as I said earlier. What a fool I am.
Idiot.
It was it's generally noted as one of the like top influential horror video games. It used the fixed camera angles, which I don't think had really been used as much, or at least in this particular way, notably before. It sort of went down the B movie route with the actual filmed live action introduction to the first game, which your Special Tactics and Rescue Squad, or STARS, your funky policeman. And there's been murders going on in this forest. You go and investigate. All people are getting eaten in the forest, aren't they?
Oh no.
Probably zombies, but
Could
they
be
think
zombies.
it's a cult or something because they're sensible and they've never seen a zombie movie. Long story short, the helicopter crashes. Big old scary dogs come after them, so they seek refuge in a mansion where they are now safe. Or are they?
I don't
They're
know,
not
Ben.
safe.
Oh, no,
They're
okay.
not safe.
That makes sense.
It's full of zombies.
Right.
And it's like the place where it's on top of a lab that's run by the Umbrella Corporation, which is big evil corporation who are making bioweapons to sell to any government that wants,
The
scary
buggers.
shit as weapons. And yeah, the series has been going on ever since, fighting either the Umbrella Corporation or the bioweapons
Yeah.
that they have created and tried to sell to normally people with strong accents or Americans who just have lost the plot.
Right, okay. Evil people. Foreigners or mental people.
Evil baddies.
Gotcha.
But it's the video games, but it has the live action movies with Mila Jovovich, the highest grossing video game movies ever. It's got animated films which link to the games and fill in little gaps. It's got comic books. It has novels, such by that of S.D. Perry. Audio dramas, apparently.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Did you know that? Because I didn't.
I didn't know that.
But it's a thing.
But it's true.
It's happening.
Crikey.
It's also responsible for the Devil May Cry series being a thing. When they shook up the formula a little bit with Resident Evil 4, it sort of got it got way too over the top.
Okay.
Like, just so over the top that it in fact became Devil May Cry, because they went, yeah, this isn't Resident Evil anymore. This is big sword, heavy guitars, and crazy things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they made Devil May Cry, which has then gone on to have books and animes and many, many games with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very important. It's spooky. I don't think we'd have such a zombie-obsessed culture as we do now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like with things like The Walking Dead. Shaun of the Dead from the Cornetto trilogy was inspired by Resident Evil 2. There's an episode of Spaced where Simon Pegg's character spends all night doing Cheap Speed and then playing Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
He doesn't sleep. He then sees zombies coming for him. And that was the inspiration for Shaun of the Dead, which then went on for Simon Pegg, Nick Frost's career, Edgar Wright's career as well. All of that was affected by this. And as I said earlier, the movies are getting redone. They're going to be close to the games. I'm excited for this. There's got people in it from Umbrella Academy. I think it's either this or the TV series that's being done is being headed by one of the people who did Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Cool.
that's coming to an end. I'm excited about this. They've got a live action and a animated TV series, animated ones coming out on Netflix next year. I'm excited. Yeah, go
Good show.
Resident Evil.
Jolly good.
I will point out
Yeah.
that I've never finished Resident Evil 1, 2. Oh no, I finished the remake of 2. I still get the shit scared out of me by these games. It took me over a year to finish Resident Evil 2 because it's too scary.
Yes.
I would put the game disc in, the title screen would come up, and sometimes that was enough, so I'd turn the PlayStation off.
That's awesome.
It genuinely gave me such a... Oh, I don't want to do it, because no.
Yeah.
That I would turn off the PlayStation.
That's crazy. I love it.
Right? So that... It's got a proper survival horror of a... I don't want to be here.
Yes.
You don't want to keep going forward. Because that way something wicked
Is
lives. To quote Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's basically
That
what he
wa-
said.
That way something wicked lives.
That way, no good, bruv.
That way something wicked lives.
Something spooky this way streams. Awesome. Yeah, I only had Prey for games. So you don't have an honourable mention for games, is what you're saying.
Well, that was the thing, because I fucked up. I should have said TV shows next. Because then I could have gone, oh, Resident Evil, that's got TV show coming out next year. And then it would have been games, and I go, haha, Resident Evil. Oh,
What a plot twist.
what a funny guy I am.
What a crazy
But I
jape to have.
fucked up.
Oh no, that's all good.
So, Laura, edit that so I'm funny, please.
She won't. No one can. TV. Impossible.
Ah, you prick.
Soz. TV. So I have two, both of which are from this year and both of which are happening now. So I
Ooh.
don't know how they end.
I have just the one. Do you want to do one of yours? I do mine, and then we finish with yours?
Yeah, sounds good. So
I think that's good.
my first one is Lovecraft Country. This is a series about a African American family, sort of like an extended family, a group of people, friends, some of whom are related. In the I'm sort of thinking what decade, kind of the 50s, I guess. And they're basically trying to go about their lives, dealing with issues of race, prejudice, and a little bit of homophobia, prejudice as well. And
I mean, it is the 50s, isn't
it
it?
is the 50s. They did like to hate people who were different to white men, basically.
Yep.
So they're going about their lives, and like they're trying to uncover basically why one of the dude's dads died and what was going on in his life, and he's part of these secret societies, and cosmically horrifying things keep happening to them, a la Lovecraft. And the central character is actually reading a book of Lovecraft stories at the time, and like all these weird things keep happening to them, and it's got a bit of a monster of the week vibe to it in some ways, but there is like an overarching story, and like every week one of the characters has to sort of deal with something horrific following them round and messing with their day. There was a recent episode that happened in the past compared to the storyline of the present day, ostensibly, and it was about a woman who the central character falls in love with in Korea during the Korean War. So it was set in Korea, and a lot of it was in a language you don't know. So that was an interesting twist. And there was another one where one of the characters is like transported through different cosmoses. and it got really psychedelic.
I think it's through the cosmos.
Yeah, sure. Through different planes of reality.
There you go.
And it's sort of really, really pretty and really well portrayed, but like really psychedelic and weird. So it's kind of got like an X-Files theme, but like more of cosmic horror rather than sci-fi, you know? Lovecraft Country. Yes. It's on Sky, I believe. Yeah, worth a go.
Okay, I will give that a...
It's really good.
I'll give it a peruse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do your second one, or shall I go? Shall I
we were
do
gonna
my one?
we were gonna sandwich, I think. So if you want to do your one,
give me the old Liam sandwich.
zip.
I mean, TV show wise, I feel that there's quite a few that would spring to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Good shout.
teen horror with some truly terrifying episodes. There's an episode called Hush.
Oh, the
which
quiet
is,
one.
Yeah, just almost entirely music.
Yeah.
And so well done. It's just astounding, like how everyone loses their voice, and then there'll be things far back in the background that people won't, things like baddies coming for them, but they won't see them. And you want to shout at the TV saying turn around, but then you can't do that because not only are they in the TV and they can't hear you, that's not how it works.
And they're in the
But
past.
even if that was how it works, you're not a voice. You'd have lost your voice. They can't hear.
That's true.
And the music just builds and is nightmarish and so well done.
Cool.
So I could talk about that for ages. Angel, I could talk about. I could talk about Tokyo Ghoul. There's lots.
Yes.
But what I did want to focus on, because I've finished all of those shows,
Mm-hmm.
is Japanese anime, the dark fantasy, by name of Attack on Titan.
Cool.
Which I may well have mentioned on podcast or on streams, and I do not apologise.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's good.
I have heard of it. Cool.
And it's good. See, the final season starts this December, which is why not only am I bringing it up now, but I'm also rewatching seasons 1 through 3, whilst reading the manga that's coming out.
Good. Yeah, covering all the bases.
It was on my Netflix list for 6 months. And I didn't get round to watching it. And then one night at about 10 o'clock in the evening, I put on the first episode. And since then, I have become absorbed by it.
Cool.
And it's the basic plot for the first season. I'll give you a quick summary.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the first few episodes.
Yeah.
Overnight, these huge naked giants called Titans appeared. They eat people.
Yeah.
They don't have to, but they do. They're not intelligent. They sort of they strike me somewhere between zombies and toddlers.
Okay.
They're gonna eat people because that's what they want to do, but they don't do it to hurt people.
Yes.
They don't even really think of people as things. It's just food.
Right. Okay. It's not a malicious. It's just a dumb.
No, it's just this. Yeah.
Like
it's like a
UKIP
cow
voters.
eating grass.
Yeah.
Yes, and those who vote for UKIP. So 90% of almost all of humanity is wiped out overnight.
Wow.
A few 100,000 people managed to hide behind these 3 huge walls that some people believe are like gods because that's what's protected them. So 100 years pass of humanity living in the walls with the Titans, sort of bumping up against the edge, going, "We want to eat you."
Yeah.
One day, a big old massive bastard turns up out of nowhere, that's so big that he can put his head over these 50-meter tall walls,
Right.
and he boots a big hole in it.
Okay.
Oh no, one may think. Now all the Titans are going to get in.
Well, quite.
And you would be correct. They
Right.
do.
Yeah.
And that's just where all the trouble starts to happen.
I would imagine. Well, no, the trouble started when they showed up. This is a second layer of trouble.
This
Surely.
is a second layer of trouble,
Yeah.
definitely. And the story sort of follows these 3 kids, focusing mainly on one of them, but it's these 3 kids who are best friends, about 9, 10 years old. Their parents get eaten in front of them.
Nice.
Very unpleasant. And it's them, sort of, this one guy trying to get revenge on the Titans so they
Yeah.
can train to be in the army and
All that stuff.
go and take back the outside world and discover the mysteries of the Titans, where they came from and why, and all that stuff. The storyboarding is amazing. The animation is fantastic. The soundtrack, when the Titans are coming, it's there's sort of like an orchestral choir. There's lots of strings, which really work. There's occasionally an electric guitar that's in there that's so subtle but really builds up on it. There's bits that are slow marchy things, so when these huge giants are slowly boom boom,
Yeah.
it's every aspect of it. I personally cannot fault.
Yeah.
Lots of people say you need to watch the subtitled one with the original Japanese voices. I don't think you do
Right.
all the time. It's weird to me that people go, "Oh, why don't you just read the subtitles?"
That's a contentious thing within anime, as I understand it, sub or dub. But give me a good story. I don't care. Don't care if I read
Right.
it or I listen to it. Give me a good story.
Tell you what's got bad dubbing: the first Resident Evil game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, check out a YouTube compilation of bad Resident Evil voiceovers. It's fantastic.
Cool.
But I mean, yeah, I've read all of these books.
Mm.
At least as many as are out now. So I want to watch the pretty pictures move.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, a fight scene can only be done so well in a graphic novel.
Yeah, totally.
You want to see it
Yeah.
move, so I will listen to the words. I mean, I could read the words, but I want to be drawn in completely and fully by this story.
Yeah,
So-
totally.
Hey, if you like subs, if you like dubs, whatever, enjoy it. Let people like things.
No, I
having said that,
refuse. They're wrong.
But the dubbing is real good.
Right.
Like when these people die, and oh my god, a lot of people die. It's genuinely unsettling. Like how it's written, people sort of losing their minds. Not just like screaming for mother, but
Yeah.
like apologizing to family members that aren't there, or trying to give mouth to mouth to someone whose legs are on the other side of a building, or
The mouth isn't the problem at that point.
no, it's the big old hole.
It's the legs. It's the really big
Um,
gap between the legs.
It is.
Yeah.
The several meters of gap.
You
between
talk
the
about
legs
thigh
and the
gap.
rest of
We
you.
got it. Yeah.
It's been described as both gorgeous and appalling in its visuals,
Nice. Very
which
cool.
probably, that hits the mark.
Yeah.
And an excellent mix of what 18th century Gothic novelist Anne Radcliffe defined as horror versus terror. One is physical, making you want to look away. The other is intellectual, making you want to know what's going to happen next.
Cool.
you don't look away from this, even though you don't want to see all of the stuff that's
Yeah.
gonna happen, but you need to. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
watching someone who's incredibly obese crossing the road on a hot summer's day when you're on holiday. And no, British people do not dress themselves when they're on holiday.
True.
I'm
Yeah.
certain of this.
Right.
No one else in the world ever will go into a shop in a pair of Speedos and nothing else and browse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've gone into a shop on holiday in, big swimming shorts to buy suntan lotion or sunglasses just quickly, but not to
Have a
decide
look.
what to have for lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway,
Okay.
that's spooky.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Um,
is.
Apart from me saying, go and watch Attack on Titan, go and read Attack on Titan, there's no way that I could possibly oversell
Yeah.
this franchise.
Do you want to try?
It's been banned in China
Okay, that's pretty good.
because
I'm intrigued.
why is it banned in China? May you ask? It's because it includes scenes of violence, terrorism,
Right.
and
Wall damage.
and crimes against public morality that could potentially incite minors to commit such acts. Don't know about you, but I have a feeling that it's banned for that last one more than anything else.
Yeah. Could be. Amazing.
So, Attack on Titan, go watch it.
I do
Finish
need
this,
to watch.
Finish this, and then go watch.
I do
Season
need
1's
to.
on Netflix. The rest you can get on Funimation or Crunchyroll.
It's one of them things
Who
that's on
should
the
sponsor
list.
us? Come on, Funimation.
Are they a real website or are they like a pirate website?
Funimation, it's a real website. You can get it on your games console, you can get it on your
Okay.
phone, you can get it on your laptop. And it's like £5 per month.
That's all right. Good stuff.
Or you can watch it free with adverts, but you won't be able to watch Attack on Titan because that's a grown-up one. And the
Yes.
free stuff is for kids. You got to pay to be a grown-up.
That you do.
So we've got
Tax.
jobs. Yeah.
My second TV show is The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Ooh.
Don't watch it. It's scary. It's real bad in a great way. We accidentally watched 2 episodes last night, and then it was like 1:30 in the morning, and we were like, we gotta watch some Game Grumps or something because I don't want to go to sleep.
Bed is scary. Oh,
Ah.
sorry, that was something that I wanted to just drop in with the Attack on Titan thing.
Yeah, go on.
When I first watched it at about 10 o'clock at night on my own, it probably hit about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But at some point because I finished it all in one night, so I was probably up until 4. But at one point I needed to pee,
Yeah.
and you don't want to do that when you're watching a scary movie.
Right.
What the point that I wanted to make was that this is so scary. My brain was going, it's okay, you can go to the toilet. It's a cartoon. It's not really going to get you. And my brain started justifying why
Oh,
I shouldn't
no.
be scared to go to the toilet.
Right.
Like, even to the point, like, don't look at the windows because you might see a big old face there trying to eat you.
Yeah.
And then it goes, they're big noisy fuckers. You'd hear them first. Like,
Oh,
don't.
good.
And my brain was playing against me because it was trying to make me not scared of the thing. So that brought the real horror
Yeah.
to me. Sorry, I
Mhm.
meant to say that earlier, and you
That's
just
okay.
reminded me that
That's
I
all good.
forgot. Please continue.
Haunting of Bly Manor. So it is a story about a woman who, and not her husband, a woman who becomes nanny to a pair of children in a giant English manor. She's given the job by their uncle. She's an American lady. Everyone else is very English. And it becomes apparent that obviously, like, there's all sorts wrong. So the children's parents, I'm going to try not to get spoilery here, so this is all stuff that's covered very early on. The children's parents died, and
Oh no.
it's worth mentioning, I think all the episodes are available now on Netflix. I'm on episode 4 or 5, I think, so haven't finished it. Excited / terrified about doing so. The children's parents die, and they don't really talk about why for a while. And their last nanny also died, or their last au pair also died. And it's also really obvious that the central character, that there was a loss in her life previous as well. So the inhabitants of the house are a small girl and slightly older brother, the au pair, gardener lady, housekeeper lady, and a chap who he's kind of a chef / driver, I think, general handyman perhaps. And they all are like dealing with different kinds of loss. I'm just trying to think about what I can say without giving too much away. Oh, this is a good bit. There's ghosts everywhere, slightly out of frame. Like, everywhere. There is a character in a plague mask, which is spooky already, and they don't reference him. They haven't done it at the point I am at, certainly. He's just there. So, like, go on.
Are these, like, can the people see them, or are these, like, little Easter egg things that the audience is meant to maybe pick up on?
At first, it feels like when... At first, it feels a bit like Slender Man in Marble Hornets, in that he's there... Subtly, if the characters were to look directly at them, they would see them. But as it goes along, it sort of feels more like an Easter egg, but they kind of play with it, and like there's one bit where actually you don't realize at the time, but like you're watching two characters talk and there's kind of a blur around the frame, and like over time you're sort of supposed to realize, oh, that's the hook of the nose of this ghost.
I don't like that you did that and then the screen blurred.
So it's because it's like
creepy.
It's like here on the frame. I'm going to do it to both cameras simultaneously. It's sort of like there. So like the camera and you as the viewer are focused in what's happening with the characters and the dialogue that's happening, but like you realize that this kind of curved thing is like the nose of this plague doctor character. So like obviously you're there as a viewer next to this ghost. You're at his face. Or it could just be a framing device that makes you think that. And then there's flashbacks to different periods, and there's like a very pale army officer at one point who's just like out of the field of view. So it does the Marble Hornets thing of like makes you look in all the corners and like makes you look for different things when you probably should be paying attention to the actual story. I'm trying to think about what else there is and what is not a spoiler. This I'm going to say this bit is a spoiler, but I haven't really gotten to the point where you realise the power of this element. So it's kind of, it maybe is a spoiler. I don't know. Use your judgment. Whatever. The episode I've just got to, which I think is number 5, it sort of becomes apparent that the kids are aware of the ghosts in the house and they can see them, but they are trying to protect the adult characters from them.
Okay.
Which is horrifying. So they'll act up in order to distract the adults as a ghost walks behind them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, looks like my adopted child is better be fucking well behaved.
Sending
otherwise
that
I'm
kid
gonna
back. Send him back
get
in the post.
real scared.
Yeah. So it's so well done, but it's awful as an experience. Like it's great. It's good, bad. It's really well put together. Occasionally very horrible to be near, but I guess that's
But
the point of horror.
Yeah, so it's awful, but deliberately so. So
Yeah.
it's see that is the good. I don't like horror that jump scares aren't horror.
Yeah.
Jump scares are just boom. Oh, cool.
It's just timing. That's all it is.
It's what you're doing is putting the proverbial cucumber behind the cat.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
turn around and go, "The fuck is that?" But it doesn't matter. Who gives
Yeah.
a shit? It's a cucumber.
Yeah.
Stuff that genuinely makes you feel, yeah.
Yeah.
And not like grossed out stuff like Saw.
No.
The first movie, great. Then they got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse because it just became, let's make stuff go messy. For it to be like a gut wrenching, almost visceral reaction.
Yeah.
That's good horror.
Yes. This is very good horror. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Oh, the young boy character is... I mean, both the children are really well acted. They're very scary. The little girl is kind of obviously adopted the mannerisms of the previous au pair who died, which is creepy, and she's a small girl, which is also creepy. The young boy was sent home from a boarding school for... which you work out is also spoopy. I shrugged at the camera for the benefit of podcast listeners. He was sent,
Oh, yeah.
the young boy was sent home from boarding school for shrugs at camera reasons. And he's also quite creepy, and he's got like a weirdly I don't know, just very off-putting character. Yeah, I don't think I can say any more without like getting into spoiler territory, so I'm just going to go say watch Haunting of Bly Manor.
You've done a damn good job because I genuinely want to go and watch that this evening now.
And it does turn
I meant
into...
to be putting a chest of drawers together. Fuck that.
No,
I'm
no.
going to watch the spooky things.
It does a real good job of making you play Spot the Ghost, which I think is missing from some horror. Because like either you don't see a ghost, in which case the plot's scary, or you see a ghost, in which case the plot's scary.
I was tempted to bring up The Woman in Black during this. Not so much the movie, but the stage show that the movie is based on. And I believe I've got the book. I was in a charity shop the other day, and they had the book.
Cool.
Which is probably what the play is based on, and
Could
all
be.
that stuff.
Could be.
But yes, I went to go and see the stage production of Woman in Black, and I'm still not over it.
Really? What?
saw it
From
when
the stage?
I saw it when I was 16
Whoa.
in the West End,
Cool.
and I'm still not over it.
That's amazing. For theatre as well, that's crazy.
They have almost no props.
Okay.
They have almost no set.
Yeah.
It's all done through... they even talk about it in the show. So it's a guy is trying to deal with these things that happen to him. So he goes to it's sort of like a therapist, someone to help him get through it. And the way they get through it is by recreating it, and that's the play that you see.
Cool.
And so he's like, oh, I've got, for example, we're just here in my office now, but he presses like a tape recorder or something, goes, and then there's a clock ticking or something, goes like, now we're in a post office. Oh, now that we're at a train station. So it's all audio stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And talking of twists, again, something that you will not get in the movie, something you won't get in the book, I would assume, something that you do get in the stage show
Yeah.
is the bit that will stay with you possibly till the end of your life.
Awesome.
Yeah, I won't go into it anymore.
I mean,
Liam,
are any of us going to go to the theatre, like, in the
Do you know what?
foreseeable?
Probably not. And
Yeah.
I was told what it was before.
Okay, go on.
So and it still terrified me.
Yeah.
So through this, there's the guy who's this had happened to. There's his therapist person, and then there's the woman who will come through the audience. She never says a word. Will somehow pop up behind people. She's really, really well done.
Cool.
Halfway through the show, just before the woman turns up, the psychiatrist, for want of a better word, says that there's a surprise for the man he's helping. The play ends, it resolves itself, and they're speaking to each other, and they go, "Oh yes, the surprise! Oh, it was amazing. That woman was astounding. Where did you find an actress like that?" And he said, "I'm sorry. The woman in black. She was fantastic. That was your surprise, right?" And I go, "Oh no, but the surprise was that I learnt all my lines properly." He went, "Well, who was that woman then?" "What woman?" And as he says that, the man realizes that the woman that he thought was an actress was actually the ghost, was the evil spirit that he was trying to deal with, and he just collapses in on himself.
Wait, so it's a play within a play?
It's a play within a play.
Okay, that was a bit confusing, but yeah.
And yeah, the bloke thinks that it's an actress playing this evil spirit.
Right, cool.
But it's not.
No.
And when he realizes this, he just sort of crumbles.
Yeah.
And like just sort of it's the most
That's cool.
terrifying thing because then even you start questioning like
Yeah.
and I think when we went to see it, it was only the two blokes' names on the posters.
Ah,
I don't think the woman's actually credited.
right. That's fun.
Which then just adds to the whole, was she actually there?
Yeah. Awesome.
And there's bits of that show that there's a scream that happens on and on, but it slowly builds up to the scream.
Yeah.
And by the second or third time you hear it, you start to hear the build up, and you just go, "No, I don't want it. I don't want to hear it again. I don't want to hear it again." People genuinely scream in the theatre.
Right.
Audience members are so scared that they scream. It's terrifying.
I love it. That's so cool.
Love to go and see it again, but I am too scared.
Yeah.
We'll go and see it when the theatres reopen.
I'll do a one-man production of this 2/3 person show.
I would pay money to see that.
Did you have an honourable mention for TV?
I don't know. Resident Evil's got a new TV show coming out next year on
That's
Net.
very honourable.
Yeah. I don't know if I've mentioned. I
No.
quite like Resident Evil.
Resident Evil Creek.
Resident of Evil Creek, yeah.
Yes,
the
I'm
best.
familiar. What do we know about the TV series?
Oh, well, there's going to be a... I've just closed down all of my researchable tabs.
Okay. I'm sorry.
But there is going to be an animated one.
Cool.
Which will be called Legacy, I think.
Okay.
Sorry, let me just grab that back up. So there's going to be an animated one, which will have Leon and Claire from the second game.
Cool.
It's called Infinite Darkness.
Ooh, scary.
So that will be directly linked. That will be the in the game universe.
Yeah,
So everything that's happened in the games happens in this.
makes sense.
There's also going to be Resident Evil on Netflix.
Mhm.
That is the name of the live action series. It's going to be produced by the same company that did the Resident Evil film series. That's going to take place over 2 timelines.
Cool.
The first of which involves 14-year-old sisters Jade and Billy Wesker moving to Raccoon City. Wesker is a name that Resident Evil people and fans will recognize.
Mm-hmm.
They come to realize that their father has been concealing dark secrets that could destroy the world. The second timeline takes place over a decade in the future, where only 15 million humans remain, with over 6 billion animals and people being infected with the T-virus. Da-da-da-da.
Cool.
It follows Jade, now 30, in her efforts to survive in this world.
Cool.
That's all we've got so far. This was
Okay.
announced August, end of August. Oh, sorry. Yes, the live action one was announced end of August, and the CGI series was announced September 27th. So very, very recently.
Very cool.
So that's all the information we have on those so far, but you can bet yo tight ass behind, or I'm going to be keeping an eye on news for those things.
Did you have any spooky foods?
I got some little. There's I saw something quite cool where people put pizza dough into little skull molds and then filled it with tomato sauce and pepperoni. So then when you pull it apart, it looks like the skull's bleeding.
That's pretty cool.
However, what I will mention is one of my father and stepmother's creations.
Mm-hmm.
They had their godchildren round for Halloween. It's like a little Halloween party. I think they've been doing this for a few years, many years now. And to have like spooky food, there's the classic sort of like you get the cheap hot dogs, cut them in half. You can make a little carve at the top bit, and it looks like a finger.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will mention, which has stuck with me, and I think this is great fun, get little jelly babies, then get a load of cocktail sticks, which you dip the tip into red food dye, and then you stab the jelly baby.
Ah.
So it looks like the jelly baby's been impaled and bled,
Yeah.
and you pick them up and eat them like that.
That's fun. I love it.
So that's my little spooky food.
I
wanted like a nicer note to end on instead of going, oh yeah, people eat people and bugs.
And now I'm going to talk about... Nah, I just wrote aubergine and courgette because I think they're icky.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
What, like the texture or just...
Yeah, I think they're gross.
A bit like dicks.
No, I just think the taste and texture are gross. Spooky foods.
Yeah. Spooky foods.
Do you have good news?
Oh shit, I forgot about these things. I do have some good news.
Because, well, hang on. There's to test out the animation again. So we'll do that in a second. Something that, like, just before we do that bit, something that is really worth looking into if you want to give yourself some spoops. This is a Laura suggestion. I just didn't really know how to introduce this. So if you Google... Oh, where's it gone? Submechanophobia. Let me put that in the chat. Submechanophobia. Find like some pictures or some like video compilations.
Good God.
It is submechanophobia is fear of abandoned.
Oh, I hate it. Oh God. No, I clicked on images and I've now had to turn it off. That's horrifying.
Abandoned underwater animatronics. So like underwater Disney rides with like robots and stuff. And there's something about that. I mean, like, I find like animatronics kind of creepy anyway. I think all sane people do, but there's something about them being underwater and like rusty and like the paint's chipped away.
Oh,
God, it's if you want to creep yourself out, underwater animatronics.
I shouldn't have looked at that.
No,
That is the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh, I hate it.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh, I hate it. Ugh.
I just want to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you've ruined that for
Oh, what, the crocodile one?
I just looked at images and there was the big weird thing on the top left. There's just
Oh,
things
yeah.
underwater. Because
No,
I've
I
been
get the
not
underwater
scared.
thing.
I've not been scared. I wouldn't say scared, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but it was when I was in Ibiza
Yeah.
and I swam into the sea,
Yes.
and then I went under the water and I looked at the horizon.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's just so dark and
Yeah.
expansive.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it made me think of. Except it's got people stuff in it.
Yeah.
Stuff where people sit or have been or have made, and that's just no. That's
Yeah.
two worlds that should not collide,
So
and it made me very uncomfortable.
that's what I wanted to throw in there. Just if you do actually want to give yourself the spooks, abandoned underwater attractions, I'm going to press the animation for good news, and I'm going to see if it works.
Let's see.
Good news, everyone!
As far as I know, it worked.
Oh, good.
Certainly looked like it worked.
It's a bit annoying when we can't see this happening whilst it's live.
I mean, I
It's
sort of
fine.
can. Okay, do you have a good news? Because I have a good news.
I do. I've got two good newses.
Oh, good, because I've got a really
One of
short
which-
one.
One of which I've just seen that it says good news, so the animation did work.
Oh, that's a good one.
There's my bit of good news.
So shall I do my one and then we'll do your actual one?
Sure.
And we also, I'll get in front of it. I don't have a plug this week other than Haunting of Bly Manor and Lovecraft Country and the thing we've said. Like, I don't feel like there's a reason to do plugs this week because we've all plugged just like a million things already. So
That's true. I've got a little one, but yeah.
okay.
I've got a small one.
So my good news, Taylor Swift, say what you like about her music, you're going to anyway. She donated a bunch of signed CDs to independent record stores across America. And I do mean donated. They weren't purchased or distributed. They were given to these record stores. And her instruction was, hey, is that the exact same thing you've got?
This is the exact same thing.
I love it. It is good news
Yeah,
then.
It's great.
Um,
Yeah, you go on.
So obviously the whole point is that independent record stores are dying, and actually they do more to get young people into music in general and discover new bands than Spotify does. Because obviously if you listen to a single on Spotify, oh yeah, that's good. Maybe you listen to it again, maybe you don't. But actually owning a CD it will do so much more for you being into a band, and will do so much more for the band you buy the thing off of. So her thing there isn't to try and make money for herself. This is a donation, because normally record stores obviously buy the things off of a distributor. They buy the music off of a distributor and then they sell it, and then that's how they make money. So they put the money forward. So all of the revenue from these CDs is going to these record stores. So number one, they get to sell a limited edition signed thing and make a crap load of money off of that. It gets more people into the record store, because maybe they go to buy the Taylor Swift album and maybe they pick something else up while they're there. And also, like, the instruction, which I really like, was to only sell to local people. Like, how are you going to enforce that? And it is a bit League of Gentlemen, but I sort of appreciated that. It's local Taylor Swift albums for local people. But the cool thing is, like, wherever you are in America, or indeed most parts of the world, I dare say. Like, you will have a local record store somewhere, maybe 2 or 3, but they are dying because of Spotify and Amazon, basically. So it's not like, oh, if you're a collector or whatever, or like a diehard Taylor Swift fan, or you just like signed things because it's worth more, you will have one of these in your city. So, like, you don't need to go collect 50 million of them from across the states. But, yeah, that's the info I have. Do you have any additional info for that?
Well, yeah, just the local thing. I think that was put in place so there's also just one per customer.
Yes, that's true.
So I'm guessing the local thing, it was to keep the money in that community. So it's helping out communities instead of someone just getting paid to drive around by someone else to go and buy them all, and then fuck you. It's not for, it's for fans, but it's not for millionaire collectors to just go, I want all of it mine now.
And also you can't resell it, because if you only get one, you've got to come back the next day to get another one to then sell on eBay. Like, you're not gonna.
It's not a thing. It's not about the money. It's about helping out local venues and for local. Yeah, it sounds very legal, gentlemen, but it's local shops and local people. It's not just a consumerist. It's not just a capitalist. Buy the stuff.
I
it's
like
trying
Taylor
to help
Swift.
little communities and stuff. And I really liked that.
Taylor Swift.
I thought that was a good thing to do.
I like Taylor Swift as a business person more than I like her music, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing to say. I think she's so nice to her fans, and I think she's so forward thinking and like appreciative of the things that do actually prop up the music industry that do get a little bit forgotten, like being a fan, like local record shops. So I love stuff like this. I also believe that she has one of her assistants, like if I understand it correctly, their main job is to go through Twitter and look for people who say nice things about Taylor Swift, or who talk about how important Taylor Swift is to them, but without like atting Taylor Swift, who they're just talking about her without trying to get her attention. And I don't know the mechanics of this, but they will like send presents to these fans.
Oh, that's cool.
And like they will work out that, which I guess because internet, they can work out their birthday and they can just send them stuff, which is really cool. So like really taking care of your fans. Like, yeah, she's got a crap load of money, but like this is how you get a crap load of money, by being nice to people, ideally. And also like what a use of that that power of her brand and like the income that she has. Like, this is putting it to really good use, and I am here for it. Yes,
it shows that at least in part, that I mean, music should. Oh God, I'm going to sound like such a wanker.
Do it.
Music's made for the people who enjoy it. So cool, she's made millions off of the music that she's made, but it shows that it's for other people to enjoy. It's there to mean what it means to other people.
Yeah.
And so why not send them presents?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. They're the people
particularly when it's a little thing that they're not like going, oh my God, at Taylor Swift, I love you, send me shit.
Exactly. Especially when you do that, it's gonna encourage people to say nice things about Taylor Swift, and it's going to encourage these people to maybe buy like the more expensive t-shirt next time they go to see Taylor Swift on tour. Like, yeah, it's genius.
I just realised that we're being really nice about Taylor Swift while saying that Taylor Swift buys presents for people who are nice about Taylor Swift. That's not our angle. I didn't know that until just now.
I'm also not atting her.
Nor am I. I don't have Twitter. I wouldn't know how. Well, I would know how, but I don't have Twitter anymore.
There you go. Do we have anything else we want to say? Because we've covered the. Oh, you had a plug, didn't you? My plug is
had
just all the things I said, especially Haunting of Bly Manor. Ugh.
I mean, oh, absolutely. My plugs. Everything that I've said.
Yeah.
Not everything that I've said.
Most
the
of
things that I have suggested, I would really recommend people to go and see. Particularly, I mean, anime people are getting more into now, I think, but not a lot. People still sort of have the whole "oh, it's a cartoon" thing.
Yeah.
If you like spooky shit, if you like great storytelling, go into that. Go discover new things. That's what I did, and now there's hundreds of things that I read and watch. Yeah, my one little plug thing. Yesterday was World Mental Health Day.
Yeah. Was.
We put a little post out from one of our previous guests. Post by Hannah, which you can find. You can find the link on our Facebook and read
It's on
the thing.
the
It's very
Facebook.
cool. Yeah, I don't know if I can plug Mental Health Day, but
Yeah. I don't see why not.
Yeah,
You can
mental
plug
health
the concept of mental health.
yeah, I mean it's important. It always is. People are talking about it a little bit more, which is always good. Talking about it more is better, but you know it's important to look after yourself, particularly, as everyone's saying at the moment, in these troubled times.
Yeah, that's very true.
Or unprecedented times. You know, it's important. Look after yourself. Look
At a
after your
certain
mates.
point,
Check in on them.
we are going to have to start precedenting. I think you make a good point. Like, it's worth checking in with friends occasionally. Like, you're not going to go see them down the pub as often as you would, certainly. Or, like, maybe they're stuck in a different city, or maybe they've moved in with their folks for a bit. Like, it's worth just sending them a little message just to let them know they're on your mind. Yes. Yeah. Good shout.
And it's important to take a little bit of time to yourself as well.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
said this earlier. I've turned off Facebook notifications.
Yeah.
And it is a lot less stressful.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So give yourself a little bit of space, even if you've had what feels like nothing but space.
Yeah. But
Have
space.
a little bit of you time. But space. We should make a game called But Space.
Okay, you learn how to code and I will do nothing.
Okay.
Amazing.
Plug
I'm going
myself
to...
in like in the Matrix.
I think let's go to the sketches. We will see you the next podcast episode. Right, let's see if I can get this right. The next live stream people will be a month from today, so middle of November. I think it's going to be a voting special. Holy hell.
Oh, shit.
Celebration of democracy. Ooh.
And lack thereof.
Yes, could be the last time we get to say the word democracy out loud, so that'll be out exciting. The episode version of this podcast is out next week if you're listening to the podcast. Hi. The next podcast after this podcast will be the following week on Patreon. Let me just run through the dates. So, today is the 11th of October. Ben, you look very attractive, as ever. This episode comes out on the 18th of October. The next episode goes out to patrons on the 25th of October. That is with Martin Keary, aka Tantacruel, YouTube music YouTube music theorist. Yeah, he talks about music on YouTube, and it's good. And then that episode goes public on November 1st with Tantacruel. Heckity heck. Don't talk Beck. Bye.
Okay.
Goodbye. Bye.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. See you soon. Kisses and stay spooky. Wash your hands, you dirty bastards.
Wash them spookily with blood.
Spooky hands.
Blood and then soap. See you later, guys.
Bye.
I'm in film!
You have to get a new Ben. This one's all stupid.
Hey Liam, I made us a Bebo page. Ah, Bebo shut down.
That's funny. That's current, isn't it?
Ah!
Anyone in? Never occurred to me how much like one of your feet properly looks like a bell end.
Hey Liam, I made us a Bebo.
Idiot.
There's no way to talk about yourself. Fucking idiot.
Okay then. Okay, yes, I know you're angry. Ow, my ass.
Look at this. I'm going to draw a frowny face because I'm really disappointed at you. Only we're going to know it's there.
Praise, please.
Right, do French.
French, not James Acaster.
Brick. Corduroy. Colombian hash.
Lick the stump!
Filibuster. Moose furs. No! 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 No!
Come with me,
Come.
and you'll be
Bang.
in a world of photosensitive seizures.
Lavender oil. Marjorie. Marge Simpson. Abe Simpson. Abe Lincoln. Top hats. Fedoras. Incels. Hand jobs. Hand lotion. Lotion. Oils. Back to lavender oil. There you go. Did it in one.
And I have nothing else to give.
Right, go stand somewhere.
3, 2, 1.
Wait, hang on. I'm having not just second thoughts, but third thoughts.
Olive. Vegetable.